It's Friday, February 13th, 2026. Okay, let's start off as we typically do by reminding you that if you'd like to support our show, you can do so by going to supportourshow.com, and there you will find a buffet of donation options that you can choose from, like our salad bar. Buffet, salad bar, different things. Yeah, I mean, a buffet. I guess the salad bar could be part of a buffet, but it is its own thing as well. I was trying to graft a little China thing in there.
I do like it when your own metaphors get away from you and try to throttle
you. It constantly happens. You know, it's just, it's, there are times where I have to sit there and wonder about if I'm saying something that's incorrect or correct. Well, the same way I often wonder if I'm making up words.
You know
Sometimes I am. It seems like it's a 50-50 thing.
Say it with confidence.
No, I like to know whether I am creating a new word. But there's a value to that to me. If I'm coming up with something that sounds like it should be a word and nobody else has said it, or if I'm using a word correctly that sounds wrong, which is actually the most fascinating outcome for me, is if I'm saying something that sounds wrong, and yet then I find out that it is in fact a word.
Oh, so you know what?
That's great.
I had a slip up. I was trying to say spectacle. And I said skeptical, and I totally missed it.
Oh.
And I must have said it like 3 times.
Wow.
My wife was like, that's not what you think you're saying. I'm like, son of a bitch, you're right. That one, it just got by me. So
I want to lead off with something that is the worst possible thing for me to have found.
Uh-oh.
For 2 reasons. One.
Did you find a sexy
statue? It allows
statue?
for a heavy... No. I was going to say... First off, it allows for a high degree of customization, and B, it's free.
Oh no! That's
and
so
it is the lanternfish of my brain. It really is. It's a branterfish. But there is a thing that there's a open source platform, solution, because it does solve a problem some people might have, like myself, which is. You and I have talked around this type of idea for a while, but I've had this, and other people have said that this idea of you sort of miss to some degree, while everything being on demand and streaming and everything is great. There's not a complaint about that necessarily. There is a quality to the way TV was pre-DVR, where you would turn on a channel and might accidentally run into something that you happen to be in the mood for, as opposed to searching for it.
You were basically stuck. And you were stuck with TV.
Well, not even stuck. It could be that you didn't realize you wanted to watch Temple of Doom and you happened to flip on a channel and it was 5 minutes in. You're like, oh, great, it's 5 minutes in. I'm going to watch the rest. So there's kind of a not really discovery, but there's an accidental... accidental slotting of things correctly into the synapse port. Not because you planned it, and not because you sought it, just because happenstance brought you across it. You had this free time, you were flipping through, didn't think you were going to watch Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom that evening, but you flipped on, I don't know, WPIX, and they were doing it as the Saturday night movie, and so you're like, oh, screw it, I'll watch it. And so there's been people who've said, oh, if only there was a way to do that with local media now. And it turns out there is. and it's something called Ursat's TV. And let me the fuck tell you that as soon as I saw what this was, my head like ripped out of the back of my skull. No, brain ripped out of the back of my skull. Not head. I mean, maybe. I guess if it was what was that movie? Malignant? I guess then that could happen. But
I mean, honestly, if the front of your head went out the back of your skull, that'd be pretty awful.
Well, that's what a shotgun does. Don't try it. So this thing, it's open source. It's free. And what it lets you do is create channels, including a channel guide for any number of different, let's see, it works on, where are the Plex, Jellyfin, TV Mate, the channel's DVR server. I'm not familiar with that, or Kodi. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that one.
How do you access it?
It runs on the, well, okay, there's different ways to do it, but the way I'm going to do is I'm going to run it locally on the same machine as now you can run it in different places.
Okay.
And then you just have to have the port openings for wherever your media library is. So it's a little bit more involved if you're going to have the location separate. I'm just going to run it all in one box. I'm just going to run it off the one Mac Mini, which really only runs my Plex server. That's all it does. I have one Mac Mini that only runs the Plex server, so there's plenty of extra horsepower. And so it sits there and you build the channels, including commercials. I'm going to build a little logo to sit on the bottom. I'm going to recreate the Sci-Fi channel from when we were younger. And have all the Sci-Fi shit running. I'll look up the times. I'll try to, if they're still around that somebody knows. I will try to recreate the general schedule, including, garbage movies, but stuff like that.
Is this something you're going to put out publicly, or is this just for you?
No, this is just for me. No, this is for me.
Right. This is a level. No. This is a fascinating level of OCD.
It's insanity. Yeah. No, but obviously somebody else is like me. There's no Discord for it.
I just think it's very funny. But like,
I would be willing to share whatever the build is with somebody if they want. I'm not going to give them the media though, and I'm not going to let people have access to my server. But if somebody says, when you're done with it, what's the config? I'll do that. I'd share that with no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can set up here schedules. You can do it where it shuffles. You can do it on a certain time. All different stuff. Random start points if you want to randomize the whole thing.
Oh, that's funny. Random start points.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I thought about doing a random MTV where I pulled music videos and just had them randomized, which would be interesting.
I mean, honestly, what's terrible is I was about to argue against this, but then you said that, and I was like, actually, that is kind of...
I miss AMP, which was their electronic videos thing.
That actually gave me such a sense of longing for the past. I actually twirled my headphone cord. Like a girl twirling her hair. I was like, ooh, a music video channel. And like I know that. See, the thing is, I know that you can set up like a stream for yourself on like a YouTube or something like that. But the fact that this is like a random thing, you can like just plug everything in. I mean, that is kind of a fun.
And that you'll have a guide like you used to have, where you could actually pull it up and say, well, what's on in an hour? And that's what's on in an hour.
Yeah, I know
the argument. Okay. That's what's on.
Let me get past the music video thing for a second. The argument is why not just play whatever you want to play? I mean, that's what people are going to say.
Well, that's where I'm talking about is there's times where I don't know what I want to play, and instead of sitting there for 30 minutes,
so instead of couch surfing Netflix, you're just going to put on a channel and whatever's on is on.
That's
but then
it.
But you know what idea. I used to. But the problem is, you know what you end up doing you end up channel surfing. Didn't you remember channel surfing like crazy?
Yeah, well, right, but this is that was the example I was using. Yes, the channel surfing, but then you would land on something, and for whatever reason, you'd stay there.
Sometimes, yeah,
and that's the idea.
Or you'd shut it off and do something else.
And that's fine too. It'll keep running in the background. It doesn't only run when you're there. It will keep track of the time, and it'll keep going.
Interesting. Honestly, it's
if you wanted to, you can have it where it doesn't do that, but it's very configurable.
It is a fascinating hobby. I'd be interested to see it in action. But you know what? This to me, and this is how I'm going to slot this. This to me is like me building playlists based off mood, which my wife thought was nuts when I did it.
Sure.
In fact, what's funny is that my playlist build is like, I think is Is it older than my wife? No, it's not. It's after my wife because So I'd already known her for a few years by the time I did that. But yeah, I remember I sat down and started building playlists that were completely based off mood. That's it. Like not just mood. I broke myself down to like I think it was like 8 moods of music, and then I slotted all my music. And to this day, I still use the same format. And I slot everything into those folders, and I listen to those folders more than I listen to anything else. And it's because that, for whatever reason, that works with me. And I understand. And it's just been doing it there for years. And even if tomorrow, like my computer, if I lost all my data, and like everything was destroyed, and I had to start over from scratch, I would do it again because it took a while to set up initially, but once I had it going. It was something that I really enjoyed going back to. So I can understand in that context how you building this thing and slotting everything into it, you would create an artifice that you may then continue to use long past the time you even remember how to program it.
Interestingly, the real thing that put this over the top was also MTV related. It wasn't really so much. The Sci-Fi Channel thing has been an idea for a while, but I have that collection of all the liquid televisions that ever aired. They're not in great quality for the most part. They're clearly VHS rips. But that's a channel. I just want to create an animation channel that has like the head, the Max,
the mouth,
stuff like that.
The liquid mouth.
Yeah. That. And just have an animation channel that I'll just load up. And I'll probably call the channel Liquid Television and load anything I want in there. That's not a movie, something that's just like Cartoon Network,
I'll
Space Ghost stuff, whatever.
It's a shame that you don't have kids because they would really get used to stuff like that. But at the same time, if you had kids, you wouldn't have the time to do shit like that.
No, I mean, because I already know this is going to take me hours.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll do it.
Yeah. But I mean, the other thing, too, is honestly, when you have kids, there's stuff that you build that you're like, oh, my God, this is so great. And then you build it. And like your kids are like, yeah, whatever, and it's the whole your kids never think
that won't
cool.
happen with me because I'll be building stuff that I'll be enjoying. So
yeah, I know that. I know. Actually, but
today,
you know what? Today I had a funny moment because I think I told you before the show. My son rebuilt one of his mechs from the Rebrickable site because he found something that was cooler than the one he had. So he was like, I'm just going to rebuild it, and it came out great, right? But But I asked him before he did it, I was like, you got your parts? I was like, you sure you got your parts? He's like, yeah, I got all my parts. Like, he does keep everything, but apparently he was not as thorough as he thought. And he was like, oh my God, he's like, I don't have these parts. And lucky for him, I have been, like, I had this bag. I don't know if I mentioned this. I had this bag of loose Legos from, like, stuff he's gotten rid of and stuff my daughter's gotten rid of, like, over the years. And, like, we had a ton of them because, they've gone through a lot of Legos. And we gave some of them away. And we just had this one bag left. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to sort it and see if I can use any of it. And so I have, like, just little Tupperware things full of, like, different types of Legos. And he came in, like, kind of sad about it. And I was like, oh, dude, I got those. I was like, right here. And I just pulled out this Tupperware, and I had all the parts he needed. And for a brief moment, I was cool. I was at least fucking helpful.
It happens briefly,
and I went back to being dad, and that's it. So yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's exciting. It'd be nice to have.
Yeah.
You know what? You would be really great running a facility. Like if we lived in the Marvel universe or like a comic book universe, right? I would love to live in a facility that you designed and
that I ran. Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because,
I realized that the thing that the superpower I would actually want would be to be Forge, where I can build anything.
Oh yeah,
and then there would just be no limit.
And the thing is, there are certain characters in the Marvel universe. There's certain characters in comic book universe in general, right? That clearly the writers didn't understand how cool it was. Like Forge always gets kind of like in the comics. I remember in the 90s and the 2000s, he always got kind of belittled down to like, oh, I have this big gun, and you're like, that guy can build anything. It's like Cypher, right? I think now they're beginning to grasp how powerful a character like Cypher can be, in that he can talk to anybody. he's the reason they can talk to the fucking island, right? It's a really neat power. And other people are like, well, I can fly. And you're like, I know you can fly. But Forge can build anything. He can make himself fly.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, it's always a neat character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just thinking of, like, if you could build anything, what would you build?
I mean, the thing is, you think of something and you build it.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of it. You don't really have to know. You could just do it.
I would love a large 3D printer. I would. I've thought about it a few times, and I don't know a lot about the larger ones, but like there are so many times where something has popped up, and my wife and I both look at each other and be like, "Man, if we had a big 3D printer, I would just 3D print that." Just in general. Like, I think we were something with a shelf. We were trying to make a plant shelf, and we both had this idea, and then we were like, I don't know if we have the expertise to build that. But I was like, man.
Well, much like Legos, somebody will have. You could find the pattern, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that because I've been building some things of late, my brain was almost like, well, can we just build it in a Lego? We can just glue the Legos together and fucking build it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like Sugru, we just ordered a shit ton of Sugru because we realized that enough projects accrued that we were like, it's time to get some Sugru. Like, it sucks that you can only buy it from Amazon, and like they kind of cornered on that, but it's time to get some Sugru because we have projects to do. But 3D printer. So yes, Forge. Of all the powers to have in the real world, his is probably one of the most useful.
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, Storm can control the weather. That's great. Wolverine is healing factor.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, okay. Except Forge can build a machine to control the weather.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, anything that anybody can do, Forge can build a machine to do it.
The only person I think cooler than Forge in that respect is Mr. Fantastic. Because, I mean, he can build fucking anything.
Oh, sure.
But you know what the problem is? I think that if I had a choice of being one of those two people, I'd still want to be Forge. Because Forge, as
without a doubt.
Forge as a mutant ability can build things, but he's not plagued by like kind of the overintelligence of Mr. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, no.
Whereas Mr. Fantastic,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's like tortured by like the movement of the universe because he understands it all.
Let's not forget, Forge was with both Storm and Mystique. So, I mean, Sue Storm, I'm sure, is a very fun woman. But let's not forget.
What are you saying about the Invisible Woman, huh?
Blonde.
Yeah. She could just be invisible.
Well, okay. That's women in the real world. I don't want that to be what my defining characteristic of my mate is. No, thanks. So,
No, I mean, there's that as well. I was just, speaking in the ways of, technology and
plus he's also, Forge is kind of, if you actually look into what he can do and what his background is, he's basically Doctor Doom without all the baggage. He was raised in mysticism and is a medicine man, but his power is technology.
Yeah.
He just doesn't rely on the mysticism. So he is Doctor Doom without the scarring and the problems.
And I love that the Marvel X-Men visual cue for mysticism is that he wears a headband.
Well, I think that's supposed to be because he was in Vietnam, but yes.
Oh, sorry. That's the visual cue for he was in Vietnam.
I mean, anybody wearing a red headband, Rambo basically established you're a vet. I mean, that's it, right? I mean, isn't that the whole thing?
Yeah, I guess so.
But they do typically put him in native.
He's always
dress.
There's always some fringe. There's always a little bit of fringe.
Yeah, they did go a little overboard on that. Although I don't think I don't remember. I don't know that I read his first comics, but at least they didn't go so far with him as they did with like Warpath, who was basically a walking stereotype.
Yeah.
And it's not like Forge spoke in terrible John Wayne native broken Forge English, and he was a tracker.
Yeah, Forge was a really smart guy, and he had his religious beliefs that were contrary to others, but he was still a really cool character, and But you're right. I mean, Forge would be cool to be.
And Forge was written very well. I always have liked Forge. He's always come off as very cool and collected. You know, because they avoided a lot of problems with him that other characters had.
The reason he worked, and the reason that is because he wasn't in. I hate to put it like this, but he wasn't important. The thing is, the second you become like an important financial character,
yeah, he's a support role. No,
and because he's always been a support role, they're kind of allowed to just do interesting things with him. Actually, but you know what? Did Forge pop up in House of X? That's House of X, the new series, Universe X or whatever, where they realize they're in the 10th iteration. Where,
yes, yes, he is the one who actually changed Cerebro to be able to do the backups for the mines.
Oh, okay. So he makes the super helmet that he wears, the super Cerebro. Yeah.
Well, he's basically behind the entire retrofit or refit or whatever you want to call it on Cerebro.
Honestly, I don't know how to go back after that for X-Men. I think that is one of the most fascinating iterations of them. I don't know that I can go back to the whole we're just a bunch of scared kids in a school with a psychic teacher. Like, it's such an interesting next level. Oh man, you know what it is?
I agree. It's tough to go back to the status quo after that.
Well, the thing, I feel like that is an end game X-Men.
I agree.
Endeavor.
It's very hard to go back to the standard version.
It is so well done and fascinating and cool, and sets them so apart that I don't know where they go from that. Like, I don't know. I'm sure somebody will figure something out because they figured this out, right? But I don't want them to try and go back because I like this so much. It's so weird.
Yep.
So, anyway, I don't even know what the hell we were talking about. Where did it happen?
Well, we started with it was the ersatz thing. Then it went to you should run a facility, and that's why I said I would be Forge.
Yes, I would be neat to. I mean, that's one of those adolescent things, isn't it? You want to live in like a cool facility where you do cool things and you've got like your people there.
Well,
you know, and Joe runs the city, the building network, and it's got all the sci-fi channels and all that.
And a talking SR-71.
So it's funny
or something.
Was it Volante? You know, we were talking about Volante design a little bit ago. Yeah. I don't know if they're losing or they're walking away from, but they're basically they're losing their Star Trek contract, right? So there's not going to be any more Star Trek shit on their site.
Well, that's a bummer.
Which is a bummer. They do really cool stuff, but yeah, that is a bummer. So I was like, oh man, you know what? I always wanted to get a Star Trek jacket from them, but I never did because I don't know if I can. I just don't know if I can be that level of nerd. Isn't that terrible? Sure. That's like a thing for me. Like, I don't know if I can. I wear a lot of weird shit, but I, for some reason, just can't go like Star Trek in my day to day. But I was like, shit, you know what? What would I wear if I was on a starship? What would my role be? And I was like, well, it's like my area of expertise is psychology, counseling, things like that. So
you're gonna be Troy. Oh boy.
Dude, I'm in a blue uniform. I was so irritated by that. I was like, God damn it. I was like, I don't want to be in a blue uniform.
Wait. That's not true. Because Troy became a commander and she went into red.
Oh, remember? Yes. That's if you become a commander. But
well, I mean, you could.
If you and I were suddenly transported to like a starship, you would be in yellow? And
I'd be engineering, probably.
Yeah, yellow and blue.
Yeah.
Command. No one is going to let us near command.
Oh, maybe you.
So, and I was like, "No, man, I look terrible in a blue uniform. I think you'd actually look quite good in a yellow uniform, though, in the next gen LaForge costume."
Yeah.
But no, blue. No. I'll take Section 31.
Just not black. The spandex versions. I'll take the other.
No. The later ones. Yeah, the back harness ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Those I can do. I'm not doing the other one.
The season 1 suits.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I and then once I realized that I would be a science officer, I didn't want to buy one anymore because I was like, fuck, I would just want to wear blue. And I don't want to wear blue. So, yeah. But they just came out with some really nice it's a shame they're losing the contract because they just did the Starfleet tunics, like the cool shirts with like the little neck rim on them. They're kind of neat. I do think they have some of the best Star Trek designs out there. So maybe I'll get over myself and get a blue one before they go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would be yellow and blue. Doesn't that just sum the two of us up? We're not security. We're not command. You're basically I'm a fucking science officer, and you're engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
That's who is it? Data wasn't. He wasn't a science officer. Who was the science officer in?
No, he was Lieutenant Commander. Well, they didn't do science that way. It wasn't the same. They didn't have a science officer. They just had the engineers.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So really, in some ways, I feel like they used the doctor as the science, and then it was like her and LaForge, depending on whether it was bioscience or mechanoscience.
Yeah.
Let's see. Actually,
operations. I think that's what they called it. Operations is yellow.
Let's take a look. Chief Science Officer. Science officers. Here we go. Spock, sure. Chekhov, Quinn. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
There was really not one. They made somebody into an acting science officer.
I wonder if they just wanted to get away from the format then.
Let's see here. It says, when Admiral Gregory Quinn lists to show Admiral William T. Riker, Riker told me he wished to summon his science officer. That it wouldn't like his... Wow. There apparently was... Really?
Did we just find a weird Star Trek
He noted
detail?
that Enterprise had science officers, but there was never one... Oh, somebody at one point referred to LaForge as the science officer, but that was a Romulan referring to him. And at one point, Beverly Crusher requested an ensign stay on because she needed a science officer. I don't think they ever had one.
Oh, that's funny.
No. Discovery had one.
Yeah. Well,
Deep Space Nine had one.
Discovery is all science.
That's amazing. I never really noticed it, to be honest. But every other show, so far as I'm finding, there's Enterprise had one. Sure, it's a Paul. Technically. Deep Space Nine, Voyager. Jesus. Next Gen didn't have one. No, they didn't have a regular one.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. I never noticed. I guess between Data and Geordi and Crusher, I just kind of didn't.
There was just so much
notice
science.
The absence.
Yeah. Fascinating, huh?
That's stunning.
Well, you know, we noticed something out of the ordinary.
Huh. Yeah. Wow.
So
well, there you go. No science officer. Holy shit.
If you want your cool Star Trek jackets, they can run to Volante and get them before they're out.
Yeah, get them quick. Maybe they'll go on sale.
I'm debating my science blues. We'll see.
Well, just say you're serving on the Enterprise and you don't have to go blue. You can just go yellow.
There is no blue on the Enterprise.
Really?
Depending on what year you're on that ship.
That's really stunning. God, that's really fucking with me now.
You never noticed it?
Because Spock is the archetypal kind of outside the captain, and he's the science officer. So you just
I wonder if that's specifically why they didn't do it. They didn't want to get caught in that.
Maybe. You might.
Well,
be
like
right,
you said, LaForge, Data.
Wow.
I mean, they pick up a lot of. They are essentially operations. Almost becomes the science.
Right.
Right. But they're more operations on the ship. I mean, maybe they just folded it all into itself. You know.
I mean, there are green uniforms, but they're not science. They're just green uniforms in TNG. But they're not.
What is the current Star Trek? That's the latest one.
Well, I guess it would
Academy?
be it would be Academy's the latest one. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just curious. Enterprise had blues. The original show, Enterprise.
Yeah, it did.
Oh yeah, and there were science blues in Next Gen.
Yeah, but they weren't science officers.
What were they considered? The blues.
Well, Crusher's wearing it, so whatever Crusher is.
It's considered a science officer. Just nobody had them.
Well, it's just Well, in other words, no main character was one, so they were just kind of background.
Yeah. So there were science officers.
It's
just no one was a main. That's funny.
Yeah, because she's chief medical officer, and she was in blue. Yeah. Now I'm sure. Well.
Wait,
don't be surprised if we get a message. Don't be surprised if we, and that's fine. What I'm stating, everybody,
I don't know. That's fine. I don't know.
No.
So
I'm stating that as far as I can find, there was no main character science officer in Next Gen. I'm not saying they didn't exist.
No, there were no mains.
They do, but none of the main characters. You know what? Actually, hold on. What was his name?
Yes.
Oh God, from A-Team. What was his name? The paranoid one.
Oh, Murdoch.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was A-Team. What was his name in Next Gen?
I have no idea. That guy's Murdoch.
Barkley. Hold on, Barkley. I remember.
Oh, I don't know if I.
Here we go. Reginald.
I don't know if I
was he science?
No, he was operations.
No, engineering.
Yeah, he was operations.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. Huh.
I don't know if I like the Star Trek Academy uniforms.
No, I don't really like them. Why was no science officer on TNG? Let's see if there was a reason. Oh, discussion Reddit.
Oh, here we go.
Of course.
You've gotten into the heart
Reddit,
of the matter.
/ Daystrom Institute, you nerds. All right, let's see. TNG Enterprise was clear on an exploratory mission, often manifesting.
You called them nerds. That is the pot and the kettle.
I think it's important to understand that this is a Galaxy-class vessel with a crew complement of over 1,000. Okay, you're already starting off on a high horse that you shouldn't be on, sir. And I'm guaranteeing it's a sir. Let's see.
You know what? Hold on. The only person who wore blues I can tell is Troy. When they rarely put her in uniform.
What is Crusher wearing?
Well, she's medical blues, but she is also science.
Oh yeah, okay.
But what I'm saying is, outside of medical, right? Yeah. Troy, by the way, why did Troy not have to wear a uniform? I never understood that. Why did she get to wear whatever the fuck she wants?
Because I think when they started with her, what they were trying to do, this is not uncommon in most of the shows. There's a main character like Odo. Odo is the other who's basically Starfleet, except he's not.
Yeah.
And I think Troy was originally going to be their resident alien. Pun, great show. Resident alien on the ship, and so they were making her. I think it was a quick visual way of knowing that she was the alien one with the psychic powers, like so you would recognize her. I think it was just like honestly, a visual
and with
thing.
Troy was wearing the lab coat so often, I didn't even remember her in blues.
You mean Crusher?
Crusher. Yeah. I don't
but
remember
that's the thing.
her wearing.
Troy would be medical because she's a counselor. That's medical.
Yeah.
So
medical is science. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. They basically just smushed science across other things.
Yeah, she's in that blue smock most of the time.
Mm-hmm. She's in green in the very early ones. She's got a green outfit on.
I guess like it's a green.
There's photos of her in the green skirt when she's not in the Mylar catsuit purple thing.
Yeah,
with that weird bun happening. Yeah. So I think this is what these people are saying. What we're saying, they're there. They're just not. They're not in the foreground. They're in the background.
So Crusher and Troy would be the only mains who were in Science Blues, but you never noticed it on Crusher because she was always in her trench coat.
That's true.
And Troy almost never wore it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Why did Troy not wear a uniform?
Oh, that's interesting. Many people have pointed to the idea, which the show does support, if indirectly, that Picard was not only shaking down the ship, but also shaking down how the crew would function. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. Hold on. There's a reason, right? So, Counselor Troy did not wear a standard Starfleet uniform for the first 5 seasons of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because the producers wanted to highlight her sex appeal, frequently dressing her in form-fitting outfits. In universe, it was justified as a way to make her appear less intimidating to patients. She eventually adopted a regulation uniform in season 6 after character development and a direct order from a visiting captain. There you go.
I mean,
she got in trouble.
Less intimidating. Okay, sure. Yeah. It was a catsuit thing. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she looks. Listen, she looks good in the uniform. I mean, she looks imposing. I will give her that.
Oh yeah. No, she does. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the outfits, but the short skirt outfit. I mean, that is short. Jesus, look at that.
Oh, it's short, and there were men in them too, so they were sort of progressive that way.
Yes, there are pictures of the men wearing them. Yes.
Yeah, and they're short shorts.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: John Holmes wasn't going to be strolling around in that outfit.
There you go.
That's
so there you go. So there were blues in Next Gen. It's just that the two people who wore them didn't start wearing them until season 5, or after season 5, or constantly had a coat over it. So there you go.
I mean, is John Holmes even a reference people get anymore? Probably not. Jeez. That's it. I guess that counts as a deep cut now.
Well, when you're old.
Yeah. So if you don't know who John Holmes is, everybody, look it up. Just go to Google and do an image search. If you don't know who he is. Turn your safe search off.
Yeah. Okay.
and make sure your phone is in the vertical orientation.
Yeah, that's why Joe reads the email.
It sure is. Oh God. Yep.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? You started with all your server stuff. Did you even do your support the show thing? I don't remember. It was like a year ago.
I did. No, I did. And then I went off that. Yeah, no, I did.
Okay. Cool.
I did. Yeah. No, I covered it. It was there. Cool. SupportOurShow.com. I did.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I don't have anything.
Well, hey, listen. It doesn't have to be a 3-hour show. We can jump.
No, I know
movies.
that. No, I know. I'm just saying.
We're 45 minutes to fuck in. So
I don't have anything. All right.
Well, I talked about Ersatz. We talked about Forge. We talked about dons and skirts. We're fine. We're good. We can jump in. All right, here we go. Right? Yeah. Nothing else, right?
Yeah. No, I just got distracted by Troy in a bathing suit.
Well, that'll do it. Here we go.
I'm just as nervous as you are. This is the first time for both of us. I ain't never killed anybody before. I'm just trying to break into the business at the top.
Fast as the lightning bolt. Well, and he can kill you with just one jolt. So much finesse with his feet and his hands.
Why'd you say that?
Good God Almighty, what a powerful man. I'm talking about King. Hey, King. Talking about Mr. King.
Bet you didn't think I could work all 3 movies into one intro, but I did it.
That's different.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's different because we're doing something different. This is Black History Month Film Festival Commentary Edition or whatever.
I have to ask you how it is that you want to.
I think we should go from darkest to lightest. That's
I think that
in terms of tone.
We got a late curveball thrown
wrong.
right at us.
Yeah, I would go with the grimmest to the happiest. That's my take on it. I'd rather end in the fun area than the dark area as far as the subject matter.
All right. Well, then we're gonna go into that one first.
Okay. I mean, they're not all blaxploitation films because I don't think. But basically, we're celebrating Black History Month by doing films that are either made by or primarily made up of a cast of individuals who are not white people. That's the easiest way to go because I really don't care. But we've seen plenty of pale people and reviewed many of those movies. And since it's Black History Month, we can cover a bunch of movies that don't have a surplus of people. What's the thing? The pigment, is that melanin? What is it?
Melanin. Yeah.
You know what yeah,
melanin.
We're gonna go with people who don't have a deficit of the opposite of a melanin deficit, right? Yeah. No. Yes. Right. So
I'm just letting you go with it.
I was trying to work my way. I couldn't apply deficit correctly. I wasn't sure if that meant too much or too little for where we were. So I had to kind of make sure I was in the right area. And I was. See, this is what I was talking about, where I get caught up in something like, no, self-correct, but I have to do it out loud.
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
We watched 3 movies. We're not going to review them in the order in which we watched them because, as I said, I'd rather start with the grimmest material and then work up to a just fantastic movie, no matter what classification you want to give it, but also one that is funny and ends in an upswing, as opposed to pretty depressingly, depending. I mean, I don't know how else you would interpret it. So we're going to start off with 1974, I believe. Hold on, let me make sure of that. I think it's 74. 1973, a 1973 film titled Black Caesar, starring Fred Williamson, Gloria Hendry, and Julius Harris. Those are the first 3 names up on here. Directed and written by Larry Cohen, who is a filmmaker I've reviewed movies by before. I mean, I've covered quite a few of his movies, actually, in the past. One which we're going to watch called It's Alive that we talked about. God Told Me To I reviewed. Let's see, what are the movies I've reviewed of this guy? Because he has Maniac Cop 2. Or no, sorry, he wrote Maniac Cop 2. Director, where's his director's thing? Because this guy's directed movies that everybody... He's kind of almost a... I don't know. You can equate him to a John Carpenter type.
Yeah, so the thing with The
Stuff, great movie.
I find that the fact that this wasn't directed by, like, I hate to say it, but like by a black director, this movie.
Yeah.
The fact that it was directed by a white guy, and not just that, but a white guy who went on to do like a lot of very different and some very fucked up movies. I was kind of like, I don't know if that actually, if it in my mind, because it's a white director, and I think he wrote it too. He did. I didn't understand why this movie was blaxploitation. And then when I found out, because I went and read some things about the movie, and when I found out it was a white director and he wrote it as well, I was like, oh, you know what? I get it. It's blaxploitation because it's not a black director. It's basically a white guy writing a black man's story, which makes it weird.
Well, the thing is. And look, I didn't do a deep level of research on this, but Larry Cohen has a presence within blaxploitation films. He didn't just do this. Yeah. He did wrote a high number of period movies.
Do you remember how we said there's a weird we'll get to it later, but like there's a weird sex scene in the movie, and we were like, why are they focusing on this? This is terrible. It's because they specifically hired that woman who plays the female lead to do nudity. She is a former Playboy playmate.
Okay.
So she was comfortable doing nudity, and they were like, she's comfortable doing it, we're going to use it.
Yeah.
So they felt the need to put it in there. Despite the fact that when you get a prolonged sex scene with this character, you're sitting there going, like, I don't know if the director intended to horrify you, but like it's kind of like it's one of the more like, why are we watching, like I don't want to say it's horrifying, but it's somebody who doesn't want to be doing what they're doing, but has to do it, they think, to save themselves and their children, right? And then rather than playing it like the horror that it is, they try to sell it in this movie like it's like, ooh, look how sexy this is. Ooh, there's sexy sex going on. Ooh, look at all this nudity. And you're watching it going, oh my God, this is terrible. And I don't know if the director did that like on purpose to be like, you know, it's almost like mocking the viewer with how terrible it was, or if he really was sitting there going, okay, I know there's a plot to this movie, but it's naked time, so enjoy the naked time. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's an interesting thing because, you know, I don't know of any of the reasoning. I mean, besides the nudity thing, but there is a kind of, I mean, I don't know about now, but certainly at the time that these movies were being made. And this is like the Roger Corman school of independent filmmaking, low budget filmmaking, that type of thing. One of the concepts is you have to have nudity in the movie or nobody's going to show up. Whether it shows up at the beginning or shows up at the end, you're going to have. In fact, a lot of movies would say this movie doesn't have enough, frankly, because there was this idea that you have to have it on a pretty regular basis because if you're competing with big money films, the only thing that's going to get somebody to pass up a Jaws for this is, oh, there's boobs in it. And what you have to hope, and I would say this movie does this, is that you have to kind of bank on, well, if you get them in with the nudity, you can try to get them to understand the messaging when the nudity's not on the screen. And I don't disagree with you. I would be so specific. I mean, he's dead now, and I don't know if there's any real history on this particular film, or if there's a commentary or something with that would explain it where he talked about it. But it is odd that it's placed where it is. And that because he was told by a distributor, hey, we need more, and this was the only stuff they had more of, or they just placed it? It's I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It is odd and it's off-putting, but maybe that's the point. Maybe it is meant to make you be upset at what you're seeing, which works.
So this movie, Black Caesar, I want to get out front. I did like it. Like a lot of movies,
it's very well made. I'll say that.
When you've had some time to think about it, you do start to pick up holes. So here's the thing: I do have commentary about this movie, negative commentary, but it is not from a place of, oh, I hate this movie. I think this movie is incredibly intense. I think it is really well done. And it hurts. I mean, watching this movie, like I realize after the fact that if you hear that commentary of us, I mean, the both of us are just like, oh my god, gee, like there is a relentless level of like gut punch in this movie. I mean, oh my god, it's just, this movie has just so much gut punch to it. And the weird thing about this movie is that if the main character hadn't been a rapist, I would have been even more sad at the end of the movie. But like, because you get to the midpoint of the movie and like he kind of loses, I mean, you can hear the moment of this movie where he loses all credibility with me and Joe.
And
after that, you're sitting there going, well, how bad is his fall going to be? You know? And what's amazing is, like, I would say, rather than go see Scarface, I would say go see this. I think this is better by far than Scarface. I think Scarface is like a farce, whereas I think this is far better than that. Because this movie is the rise and fall of a motivated, scarred, damaged individual.
Yeah.
And how they essentially they rise to a height of power and then proceed to destroy themselves, but also garner enough enemies to like make it happen, you know? But I enjoyed it. And what's fascinating is that who's the main guy in this who plays the Caesar?
Fred Williamson.
Fred Williamson is in two of the movies that we watched. And they're two very different fucking movies. Apparently, this script was originally written for Sammy Davis Jr. Can you imagine that?
Yes. Well, and that's, I did read, and this is where, again, you know, I was looking up some things on this, and I wish, I couldn't find a lot of extensive stuff. But there have been a number of people who have said, look, if this was Sammy Davis Jr. and it wasn't lower budget, it would never have covered some of this material.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, Cohen went into some of the most dangerous areas of New York City at the time. Because,
did you read about the gang members that he put in the movie?
Yeah. And the thing is, he had a reputation for being not, you know, just somebody trying to cash in on black people. And that's, I think, what allowed him to make this type of movie. And that's probably why he was comfortable writing it. I also did see a quote where he said, I was given the, I can't remember the exact quote, but I can't find it now. But he said something about, I was labeled as somebody who could work with black actors, and I never understood why. There's no special skill set, just treat them like people. And I'm like, well, that's it. Right there, you've clued into what this movie is actually showing at multiple points.
But that makes me happier, because I didn't know enough about Cohen, so I really worried that this was like just a cash grab thing for him. But knowing that he had worked with other, like, you know, black movies, I guess, makes me feel better about his work on this. Because, I mean, this movie is... I mean, it's just such a... I hate using the phrase again, but it's such a gut punch. I mean...
no, it is.
Because... And Fred Williamson, I guess, was a bit apprehensive about doing this movie.
I'm sure.
And he said that essentially when he decided to do it, he said to the director, I may change things that don't feel right along the way.
And that's where, if it wasn't Cohen, they might have said, no, this is what we want to make.
Yeah.
So that's what I've always, now look, I don't know Larry, I did not know Larry Cohen. I'm not going to say that we're not going to find out tomorrow that he was secretly some kind of monster. But generally, from what I've read about him, he seemed to approach everybody equally, and that's one of the reasons he could make movies like this, is because he didn't, he didn't write people into certain roles or try to bend people into things that would make them look bad. Mm-hmm. And, I said I was talking about the movie, and I said, the problem with this movie is it's exceptionally well made, and I'd recommend it to almost nobody.
Oh, wow.
Because
it's so heavy.
Because in the end, there's only one person, really, who's clean. And that's the woman.
So we got to get a little bit of overhead on this. So the main character, Fred Williamson's character, he starts out as he's got a single parent, his mom, who's working all the time. They grow up in a very, very poor neighborhood, and early on, he starts basically kind of working with the mob as like a messenger boy or just like a helper. So at one point he holds a guy's leg while somebody else comes in and shoots him. Then later on he's like doing deliveries for them. And this is how he meets one of the main antagonists of the movie, which is this Irish cop who basically is racist as hell and beats the shit out of him and puts him in the hospital and sends him to prison. For no other reason than the fact that he doesn't fucking like him, right? Beats him up.
Well, it's because he talks back to him.
Yeah, he talks back to him. Oh, you're right, yeah, and that drives him up a wall. So our main guy, he goes to prison for a while. When he comes out, he has, when you see him again, so one of the weaknesses in this movie for me is some of the gaps. So when you see him again, he is older. I mean, he's Fred Williamson now, and he has decided that he's going to get into the world of crime. And he starts out by essentially killing people for the mob in such a way, by this particular crime boss, that the guy has to pay him because, as he puts it, no one would think that that an Italian mob would employ a black assassin. So isn't that perfect? And that's
the clip I played for the intro to this is where he shoots that guy. Yeah. And he says, there's a contract out on you, and I'm cashing in because I want to jump to the head of the line. That's essentially what he's saying, is I want them to be unable to deny me an entry into this world. Yeah, which is the first problem. You're entering into this world, which is going to be your undoing, no matter what. It has to be.
Yeah, and the problem with the main character is that Fred Williamson is very charismatic. He is a good-looking guy. He's a good actor, and you kind of want to root for him. But the thing you have to remember from the first moment is that he wants to get into the world of crime. He is responsible for murder. It's not like he's like the Punisher.
Wait, hold on. There is one aspect to this, because there is sort of an asterisk for a while for me.
Yeah.
And this is where on the commentary support where I'm like, okay, I need to know what his morality is.
What he's doing. Yeah, what he's doing it for.
Let's set the correct scene here. The mob, Italians, massively racist. I can say this with direct experience with Italians. Racist, especially older ones. Right? The cops, generally, depending on where you are, racist. So he's trapped in a world where he's surrounded by racism, and an inability to get past a certain point. So if that's your only way to move up, you take whatever means you need to survive. So I don't mind him getting into that world by murder, because the reality is they would have shot him and thrown him out without a second thought.
Yes, but you have to go in realizing that it's a crime movie about criminals.
Well, it is. Well, there's a point where we don't know that. And that's the thing is, for me, was he actually doing this to try to raise everybody else like him up?
Well, and there's a moment
at the expense of these people.
And early
that
on
was the pivotal point.
Yeah, early on in the movie, he makes a deal with the mob, and he basically starts working for them, and they give him a square block? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Well, he asks. He says, the only thing I want is this one square block in this one place. And the Italian mobster says, why? There's nothing there. And he's like, that's my business. I just want it. And I said, now, at that point, I said in the commentary, is he going to be satisfied by creating a utopia in this one block for anybody who's like him?
And that's
the morality point.
That it could have been. Yeah. So early on, it sounds like he's going to use this crime money to create like youth centers and try to improve the area, and he's basically working with his friend who does genuinely want to improve the situation, and his other friend who's a priest, and like you get the sense that he wants to make things better, but then
as a way to link this movie to the X-Men as a nerd frame of reference, I thought he might be creating an asteroid M for black people.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, is this going to be a safe zone where anybody who comes in who's black will not have to suffer any of the shit that the rest of the city's doing to them?
But the problem
that would have been an interesting movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And the thing is, that would have been fascinating if that's what he did. But the thing is, he has his own agenda. And in the end, you realize that to some degree, he's using everybody to get to what he wants. But what he wants is kind of gray. It's almost like he just wants to fucking hit the world as hard as he can. So,
except for his mother.
That's
the only seeming exception.
He pays off the cop, the Irish cop that basically put him in the hospital in the beginning.
Who might as well have been wearing a white hood. Jesus.
Yeah, he buys him, essentially. So now this cop realizes that, oh, crap. He's like, I'm somewhat beholden to this asshole. He uses this lawyer to do all his business, but then he basically goes to the lawyer's house, buys the entirety of his belongings with some astronomical amount of money, and then kicks him out. And you realize that this is the uppity apartment where his mother works as the maid. And he tries
when Leto says buys everything, he takes the coats off the wife as she's walking out the door.
Yeah, everything.
He wants everything. The furnishings, nothing moves.
Yeah, he buys their pictures.
It as is.
Yeah. And he does it, and he gives it to his mother. And his mother, who's been a maid her whole life. And this is one of the parts of the movie that, it's horrid. She can't comprehend what he's done. And she's almost, angry with him for doing it.
Well, she says a phrase. She says, in this place, not even Jews can get in here.
Yeah. Oh, my God, when she says that.
A modern audience probably won't even understand what that means. But what that means is this is the most racist building in the city.
Yeah, she's basically like, they would lynch me if I lived here.
Yeah. Yeah, she can't stay there. And this is the thing is, Tommy is operating off of the idea that money will solve everything. And there are other people like his mother who are sitting there going, no, eventually they won't care how much money you have. They will find a way to get to you, which is correct.
And Tommy's response is, I will buy them or I'll kill them. And that's what Tommy does. This is Tommy's approach. That if Tommy can't buy you, Tommy will kill you. Tommy being the Black Caesar of the story. And so as he goes on, he just takes on bigger and bigger fish. So he takes over the mob boss who he was working for. Then he takes over the larger area that they were taking over. So he kills all the guy's brothers in one big assassination swoop. Right? So he rises to power very quickly and aggressively. Right? But along the way...
And we should note, we both noticed this, that when he talks to the Italian mob guy, he changes how he speaks to sound like an Italian mob guy.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's very strange. But it's something that people might not even notice. But he definitely changes how he talks to sound like a stereotypical Italian mobster, the way that they talk. And it's fascinating because normally code switching is done to make others feel more comfortable. But in this, I think it's done to basically make fun of the guy as he's about to basically suck all of his power right out and kill everybody that matters to him.
And the amount of racist commentary that people throw at each other is just astounding in this.
Yeah.
And it's not done for laughs. It's not a funny movie. It's very serious. It's showing you kind of how mean people can be.
There was a term used in this movie, which I will not repeat, that I'd never heard before and had to look up to see if it was real or not. And I was astonished. Which that it was real.
Wait, which one was it? Is there a kind of sly way you can...
It's got the word moon in it. I'd never heard that one.
Okay.
You may not even have noticed it, but I heard it.
No,
I was
honest, there's so much rancid shit said in this movie.
But most of it I've heard before, but that was a new one to me. I never, and it seemed like a made up phrase. And I looked it up and I'm like, holy shit, this is real.
Yeah. So then as Tommy rises to power, Tommy has this girlfriend that he's been with since the beginning. And she's not into all this. This is not the vibe that she wants, and she doesn't like what Tommy is becoming. And there's kind of this penultimate moment in the movie where basically Tommy wants to have sex with her, and she's giving him the cold shoulder, and she keeps saying, stop, no, I'm not cool with all this. And Tommy just rapes her, right? Against her will. At which point, Joe and I both were like, okay, this is where Tommy is. I was like, Tommy just wants what he wants. He just wants power. And that is what proceeds to happen, which is that, Tommy does, I think, care for this girl. Not enough not to rape her, but he does seem to care for her. And he has a friend. Oh, who's the friend? The glasses.
Joe.
Remember? He has his friend Joe, who's been with him early on, who's kind of the accountant to all this. Yeah.
Before we keep going, because it's important what you just said, but we went past it a little too quickly.
All right, go ahead.
Tommy cares about this woman, but only insofar as it serves him. So yes, he cares, but if she's not in the mood, she better get in the mood real quick or he'll put her in the mood.
Yeah.
So it is again this very warped, specific caring for this woman. So it's not like, because the only person he seemed to unequivocally would have done anything for and had actual, as far as we ever knew, unconditional love for was his mother. That's the only one where we never saw any qualifications. He was upset that she didn't understand what he was giving to her, but he didn't slap her or anything. Whereas the girlfriend, the caring was only as long as she stays in the lane he's got set out for her. And as soon as she steps out, nope, you're coming back in. So I want to make sure it's clear that this isn't caring what love actually is. Yeah. This is convenience caring. So, sorry, go ahead.
No. So he sends Joe and his girlfriend to California because he feels that they're about to get hit by the mob. And so he sends them out there together, basically to have Joe keep an eye on her and keep her happy, and continues to focus on kind of his war with fucking everybody, really. And then, there's all kinds of machinations going on. This movie's supposed to take place across a rather long, it's like a time frame of years. You know what I mean? But eventually Tommy finds out. I think there's a
2-year jump at one point.
Well, yeah, we're not there yet. So eventually Tommy finds out. So Tommy is running he's got his gang of guys around him. He's got bodyguards. Right? He's doing the crime in the area. He's keeping, but he also isn't putting any money to the youth shelters. He isn't doing any of the shit he told Joe and the priest that he was going to do. Right? He's just keeping it all for himself and making himself, having a more and more of a luxurious lifestyle. At which point, it's kind of a weird thing. The lawyer's wife shows up in his apartment to attempt to sleep with him. To which, you know what? I thought he was going to sleep with her. I think it's interesting the fact that he doesn't. That he kicks her the fuck out. That he basically says, I would never sleep with you. And then as a stinger, she basically says, well, it's basically like, you better look into what's going on with your girlfriend, because everybody hears rumors about your girlfriend and your best friend. At which point, you could hear both of us basically be like, oh no. Oh no! And he goes out to California and finds out that his girlfriend and his best friend are shacking up together. At which point he beats the shit out of he beats the crap out of both of them, really.
Both.
But he doesn't kill them. And I do think
Which I was surprised he didn't kill the friend.
Yeah,
I didn't think he killed the woman, but I was sure he was going to kill that guy.
I do think that it's an interesting thing to note that he doesn't kill Joe or his girlfriend.
Is that because he knows he needs him for the money stuff? Because he doesn't have the brain for it? Because he points out at the very beginning of the movie, he says, look, I don't have the mind for the money, you do. So that's what you're going to do for me. Is that the only reason? Because I think that's the only reason he doesn't kill him, is because, honestly, between the woman and his money and power, he's got to keep the money and power. That's my opinion. But that's what I think.
I don't know. And that's the thing is, there's a lot in this movie that's kind of left up into fascinating interpretations where you're sitting there going, did he do it because of this or did he do it because of that? And the movie doesn't necessarily tell you. So did he not kill these people because at the end of the day he does weirdly care for them, or did he not do it because he realized he still needed it? I don't know. At which point you get a 2-year jump. I think the 2-year jump is really annoying. But this is one of the issues I have with this movie is its passage of time is weird. The movie isn't really good at letting you know how much time has passed. So there are times
it's odd that they don't pop up, because they do for the years. At certain points they come up and say, here's what year it is, and for whatever reason that one doesn't say 2 years later.
I would love time frames, because all of a sudden, his girl, Tommy's been running his empire for 2 years now on his own, and people are getting annoyed with him. The police want to get rid of him, and his ex-girlfriend and Joe have 2 kids and are kind of living in poverty in New York. They've come back from California, I'd love to know what was going on in there. And that's the thing is, it's really the only thing that annoys me about this movie is the weird way, the weird relationship with time the movie has. Because I'm kind of sitting there going, I'd love to know what's going on. What give me more of a map of what's going on, because some things just seem to move so quick.
So my suspicion with that is that they were told you cannot exceed an hour and a half, and they already did. And movies like this generally were not supposed to be longer than 90 minutes. And this one's an hour 41, I think.
35.
So they probably, or whatever it is, they probably had to cut things because they had to.
I'm sure there must be a really fabulously depressing director's cut of this.
Well, no, actually, apparently, we saw the depressing cut that most Americans didn't. The ending in the original theatrical run is not what we saw.
So what happens in the original
He does not get attacked by the kids. He just goes there, and then it ends.
Right,
he just goes to his old house.
I will let you explain the tail end of the movie. So
after the 2-year jump, what we find out is that Joe and... I cannot remember the woman's name. What was the woman's name?
Is it Helen?
Helen, Helen, that's it. Joe and Helen have had 2 kids, and basically Tommy has kept them in squalor. He's made sure that Helen cannot... Because she's a singer, and he had originally set her up with record contracts, all this stuff. That is all gone, so that she cannot earn a living being a singer. And he's made sure that Joe can never be an actual accountant or make any real money. So they're basically trapped, only allowed to even live, really, because of Tommy's quote-unquote, kindness or whatever. But he's basically just continued to punish them. And so the lawyer and the cop and some other random mob guy get together and they say, our friend Tommy has they use this weird phrase. They're like, his novelty is worn off or something like that. Well, and so they decide that they have to get these books. The thing that Tommy has had that has kept him in power is he has these ledgers showing where all the payoff structures of a lot of high-level stuff, including the cops and all these other organizations are.
So they're afraid to touch
he's had that.
Of it. Yeah.
Yes. So they basically are like, if as long as he's got that, he's got us. And so they're like, all right, the key is we have to get that stuff. And they figure out, logically, that since he's got his ex-girlfriend living in a terrible position, that they can go lean on her and say, look, you're going to help us out or you're going to suffer even more. And so they say, you got to get us the key.
They directly.
Yeah, they go right to her. The cop and the lawyer go right to her. And the cop's playing with her young child. Very clearly,
creepy. Very creepy, yeah.
Very creepy. Well, it's sending a very specific message.
Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, you're going to go and you're going to get an impression of that key so that we can get that stuff out. And then we'll leave you alone. And you won't have to worry about him hanging around your neck. You'll be able to do whatever you want. Which, who knows whether that's really true or not, but at least they wouldn't be in Tommy prison anymore.
Yeah, and let's be very clear. She doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want...
Oh, no, she's... Yeah. No choice. There's no choice. No, I'm not... This is why I will continue to say she is the victim of the movie, without a doubt.
She is, yeah.
I mean, the mother too, but the mother dies, and so she basically escapes this hell by being dead. And interestingly, the father turns up, and originally I immediately suspected he was showing up for money, but in fact, no. The father, this is again a thing of the age. In fact, on the commentary, Lando says different times. The big revelation from the father is that they were never married, and so he was a child of sin. And I'm like, fuck that, but that's my modern interpretation. At the time, sure, it was a bigger deal. So that was this major thing that he was had out of wedlock. Who cares? But at the time, big
that's
deal.
The explanation for why he didn't send money. He couldn't legally send money.
Yes, because he had gone off to serve in the military because he said he had no other options.
Yeah.
Again, that's something you look into it. You find that a lot of people who are in a bad place in life sign up for the military because it's the only way out. So, and if you don't think recruiters know that, you're living in a fucking dream world. So he went off, and Tommy's getting ready to shoot him. And says, you never even sent us any money. And he's like, I couldn't. We weren't married. I couldn't send anything. He's like, I probably could have tried, but I didn't. And then there's a point where after the mother dies, the father shows up again. And Tommy's says to him, and I think this is the really important line, because he's softer on him now. He's not as angry and lets him live, obviously. But he says, do you need anything? And to me, I read that question as, okay, is this the end of the long con to get something? And the father says no.
Oh, see, like, I didn't read it that way. I definitely do. I thought that basically Tommy realized in that moment that he had nobody. And he softens because he kind of sits there and goes, do you need anything, Dad? Because I don't have anyone anymore.
Well, this is the thing. There's two answers to that question, each which would possibly lead to a much different outcome. One is, well, I could actually use some money, at which point I think Tommy just kills him. Because then he realizes, okay, no, this was all about getting something in the end. Or, if the father had said, I just want you to get out of this life. What can I do to help you? That might have been the thing that could bring Tommy back. To have one person, outside the girlfriend, but again, I'm taking this from the viewpoint of women don't matter to Tommy. They're lesser. I mean...
No, because listen, everyone's so focused on racism, but nobody is paying attention to sexism.
Well, I mean, black women. You're just putting the two things together, so it just multiplies. That's what it is. But in Tommy's world, she doesn't count. We already know that from the way he treats her. So if another black man, especially his father, had reached out and said, this doesn't have to be your life, Tommy at least might have decided to just walk away from it. I don't know if that's what would have happened. Maybe he was too far gone.
Yeah.
But you have to hope that not everybody, I mean, that redemption is possible. You have to hold that hope.
This goes back to the whole thing that Tommy is there's a lot of charisma. He's really good looking. He acts really well. You kind of want to root for Fred Williamson, but it
is not untrue that he was formed from a hateful atmosphere.
Yeah.
So this doesn't excuse what he's doing, but you can't ignore what he grew up in. Abusers abuse. Or sorry, the abused become abusers. It's that thing too. If all you ever know is, hey man, you take whatever dollar there's reached out for you, no matter what the means are, because otherwise you're dead, what else do you learn? You're going to exist in that world, and that's what he is. But the father says, nope, I don't need anything, and I'm not sticking around, and he leaves. So the father sees what's going on and correctly says, I'm getting the fuck away from this, and just bails out, which does leave Tommy on his own. So at that point, the girlfriend comes back. They have this extraordinarily uncomfortable sex scene where she does make the impression of the key.
Yeah, and it goes on. It just goes on for so long. It goes on
a long time.
And
longer than the rape scene, which I guess is good, but...
Well, the movie plays it like it's supposed to be sexy. and you're sitting there like, no, it's not sexy. You can stop now. But yeah, like you said, I guess they needed the nudity to sell it.
There was something else I thought about. Are we supposed to be seeing this the way Tommy's seeing it? Because for Tommy, maybe this is sexy because whether she wants to be there or not doesn't matter to him. This is something that's familiar and this is what he wants. So to him, it is a sex scene as opposed to, for her, it's just a different form of rape. I mean, you could say she chose, but she really didn't because she didn't have a choice. So that's rape. It doesn't matter if the coercion is from the guy in front of you or from a cop who's got a gun to your kid's head, metaphorically, and then later literally, if you didn't do what he said. It's still rape. But in Tommy's mind, is he just grasping at anything that is not him getting screwed over? And for him, it is a sex scene. See, again, there's points where you're sitting here going, well, this is all from Tommy's perspective to a degree. What he's seeing and how he's inferring it, because Tommy is always coming off like he's a victim, even when he's victimizing others. Like, I'm owed this, no matter what, because I was hurt.
Everything is owed to him the way he sees it.
Yes, exactly. So, but for us, the viewer, very uncomfortable. So she makes the impression of the key. Yeah. I mean, very, very uncomfortable. And so she gets the impression to the lawyer and the cop. They go and they get the ledger. The lawyer is offed. And then they send a mob guy after Tommy. He gets gut shot after a chase in the street.
Yeah.
And all of his people are wiped out. Tommy's all that's basically left. They gut shoot him. And then he gets to a phone and calls Joe. And this is the point, if you listen to the commentary.
Well, first, honestly,
I kind of lose my shit.
Hold on. First, he goes to his friend the priest to get help.
That's right.
His friend the priest has a total religious breakdown is what happens. And Tommy's like, oh, you can't help me.
Well, I think that's supposed to be the priest rationalizing his role. Because the priest, just to fill in a little backstory, is the next door neighbor that grew up with Tommy. And so he's there the whole time. And he is, I couldn't figure out for a while if he was just a fake priest.
No,
like
he's
a
real
scumbag.
Priest. Yeah.
But no. And so what he had to have been doing was rationalizing all this as for the betterment of black people. That's the only thing that makes sense, is that he thought Tommy was going to actually lift everybody up. And so when he finally realizes, and the thing that I was paying attention to in that scene, and they don't really tell you, and we don't really see where the priest was before, but where he is very run down. So it feels like he's lost everything by sticking with Tommy, and he's just in this like run down small church, because he's in this back room. It looks very dirty, very decrepit. He's not in a very nice church as far as we can tell. So I wonder if the priest was dragged down as well, which would make sense because everybody was dragged down by Tommy's actions. And so he's really just retreating to, Tommy's like, you got to help me and would get this bullet out of me. And the priest starts telling God to heal him, like he can heal him himself through him. And Tommy realizes his friend has gone out to lunch and can't help him. And then he calls Joe. And this is where I have a major problem with Joe as a character, as a rational being, which is Joe, the wife, or the ex-girlfriend, Joe's wife, picks up the phone and hangs up. Correct. The woman knows the score.
And you can hear Joe and I have a difference of opinion on this, which is I'm not saying that what Joe does is correct, but in the scope of the film, I understand why, because Joe still thinks that he can be friends with Tommy. He feels bad that he has betrayed Tommy by falling in love with Tommy's quote-unquote girlfriend, right? But I still think that Tommy thinks that they can find a middle ground. And he does this to try to make...
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Right? If I called you...
If I was
suddenly in the crime...
You can't use me as an example because I am not fucking Joe. Joe in this movie...
No. I'll ask the audience.
Okay.
Here's the question, audience, if you're a parent. Because it's as simple as this for me, and I'm not even a parent.
Yeah.
If a person involved in shady dealings, the person you've known the longest in your life, calls and asks you to do something that you know can jeopardize your family, do you go? And to me, that is the line for me. No.
I
wrong.
agree with
you. Do not.
Agree with you. See, the thing is, I'm not taking Joe's side, the character Joe's side. I'm saying that I understand in the context of the movie why the character makes what we deem to be a mistake. Right? That is his own. That is his own failing.
Well, okay. Yeah, he does something stupid because, you know, this he was beaten the shit out of and kept in essentially poverty by this person who's his friend. That's the other thing, is if Tommy was putting them up in the Ritz and giving them everything, I might be able to sit there and go,
if Tommy was taking care of them or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because if Tommy dies, maybe this all goes away. Then you lose it all. That's a different calculation because that is factoring your family in a way that you're caring about them. But to already be at the bottom by somebody who is, as you said, looks like they're 2 seconds from just killing you if you do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And you go help them at the risk of your wife and kids? No. And that's why Joe gets no sympathy from me, ironically. No, the wife is the only one outside the mother who's dead at this point. The only one who's clean in this because she at no point appears to have any options other than to do the things she's ordered to do.
The black woman in this movie is the only decent person, and she gets fucked over by everybody.
Yes. She and her kids are the victims.
Oh, yeah.
And ironically, Tommy ends up bringing about the same situation he had to those kids.
Well, because when Joe goes to help Tommy, Joe gets killed.
Oh, he just gets shot in an elevator, cold.
Yeah.
Just dead.
And then when Tommy shows up, he ends up having a struggle with the Irish cop who's now like the commissioner.
Which is the only satisfying bit of the film.
I just didn't want that guy. I didn't want that guy to win. I knew that Tommy had to die, but I didn't want that guy to win either. I needed them both to...
It's more than that, though, because not only does he get killed, but Tommy humiliates him by smearing shoe polish on his face to put him into blackface and making him sing a minstrel song. So it is the perfect death for a horrific racist, is to become, at least partially, the thing he hates. That is the only part of this movie where I had any joy, was when he was murdering that fucking Irish racist pig cop.
I mean,
which I will use that phrase because that's what he was.
Say what you will. That actor did a great job.
Oh, it's great. And that is the only part of the movie where I was actually like rooting for anybody other than that woman. And at that point, we already knew the woman was screwed because the husband left. And as soon as he left, we knew he was dead. We knew it.
Oh, yeah.
That was just clear. It's just how. But outside of her, this was the only part where I'm like, yeah, get him, Tommy. At this point, because he's already way past, demonizing himself. But when he kills that cop, it is very satisfying. The only part of the movie where I felt any type of goodness after, the first 10 minutes where I wasn't sure what was happening yet. Something. And then, after that, Tommy, still shot, bleeding, no medical treatment, gets the ledgers, and goes back to his old, where he grew up, which is bombed out.
He can't go to the hospital because he'll get arrested because he's got a gunshot.
No, of course.
He has no friends
plus
left to go.
He's a crime boss, and his shield of the cops is gone. He just killed the commissioner of the cops.
Yeah. He's got nowhere to
lawyer,
go.
And,
Yeah, and so the ending that we watched, Tommy goes back to his old neighborhood that he grew up, which is dilapidated and falling apart, and looks like it's beginning to get destroyed.
Yes.
At which point he is...
Well, wait. That's where the movie ends for the theatrical run, is him going there and kind of just looking at it and being sad. And then it just cuts to black.
Got it.
Ours, which is
the
the international version, because the Europeans can understand that not all endings have to be happy, even though I don't think that's a happy ending. The one we watched then continues where he turns around and he sees... And you are correct, because I wasn't really sure if he was actually seeing them or if he was so blood loss, shocked.
At first, I thought that these kids were hallucinations of the kids he grew up with.
So did I.
Yeah, but then you realize that they're not.
No. They're kids like him, who, like him, decided to take by force and just beat him up. They take his watch, they take everything of value he has, and they leave him bleeding in the wreckage.
And they leave the books strewn across the ground because at this level, it doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't, and they don't know what it is, and it's not it's not going to help them. So, and they leave, and the last thing you see is like the pages of the book flapping in the rubble, and then the credits come up. And that's the end of the movie.
It's a heavy movie, man.
Yeah. The only thing I can unequivocally recommend is the soundtrack because it's fucking James Brown.
Oh,
so
James Brown did the whole soundtrack, yeah.
Fucking awesome.
It's amazing,
awesome.
Yeah.
You can listen to that and not be upset. Watch the movie, tougher.
And the thing is, it is a good movie. It's very well made. Mm-hmm. At no point do you look at it and think, this is a cheap movie. It's very well made. It looks good. The lead is excellent. Everyone in it is acting their fucking ass off. But it's a heavy movie. It's a lot of racism, sexism, despair, and, just people destroying themselves.
Yeah. Or being destroyed by others.
And the terrible thing is, this is the last movie that we saw.
Yeah.
Which is completely overshadowed the first two movies we saw that were the absolute opposite of this movie.
Well, okay, so this is where I think you and I differ because it didn't erase those movies. Those movies are my way out of this.
I didn't say it erased them. It just overshadows them. In that I've been thinking about this movie since I saw it.
Well, it's the most recent one, but the thing is, and this was I went into this one not really knowing anything. I just seen its name come up a bunch of times as a great example of black film from this time period.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I like Fred Williamson.
He's great.
And the reality is, Fred Williamson, I previously really only knew from Dusk Till Dawn, initially. And he seemed cool in that, but he's not really anybody. And then I kept hearing the name, and I've seen more and more, and I've liked him more and more because I'm seeing how much range he's got. And this is a great example of, okay, this guy is a very good actor. We'll see how much better he is than others in the next movie we're going to review, but... So I went into this not knowing. If I had known it was this much of a downer, I don't know if I'd have picked it.
You know what?
Because I don't like downer films.
I went in thinking that it was going to be another one of these kind of blaxploitation, like crime gang, like cool movies, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It wasn't at all. And I don't regret. Here's the thing. I don't regret having seen it. I think that it's fantastic that we saw it. I think it's a really well done movie. But yeah, it is a fucking kick to the balls.
I think what I was hoping for was, okay, black gangsters kill racist Italians. Because that's kind of the basic synopsis made it sound like that's what it was.
That happens as well.
It does, but it's not like Three the Hard Way is, which we're going to get into, is so over the top that you just are having a blast, even though the people they're fighting are hateful.
What would you like to do next, then? You want to do the Three the Hard Way?
Yeah, let's do Three the Hard Way, because it's kind of a natural... That's what I wanted... I shouldn't say wanted. That's what I thought that Black Caesar might be, except in New York City with the Italian mob. Because Three the Hard Way is a goddamn delight, is the only way to put it. Three the Hard Way is Jim Kelly... Fred Williamson now playing a much more likable version of Tommy, but not even really Tommy. And, oh my God, Jim Brown, Jim Kelly, and Fred Williamson. And these are three different individuals. One has more limited acting range than the other two, by far. And that would be Jim Brown, who I like, but he's not... When you put him next to Fred Williamson, the deficit in... range of acting becomes impossible to ignore. Let's put it like that. You can see it early on, but boy, it's like just putting a highlighter on it once he's next to Fred Williamson, who he spends a lot of the movie next to. And in this movie, which we watched this movie and then Black Dynamite, which will be the last movie review, and boy, oh boy, can you see this movie's imprint on Black Dynamite. Where this movie, the thing that I think this movie does intelligently is it is also about racism, but the racists in this movie are so ineptly, stupidly over the top that you can simply sit back and wait for them all to get wiped the fuck out, which is what happens.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that Black Caesar is an attempt at showing how, the gritty reality of how a person can destroy themselves.
Black Caesar, up to a point, I could believe is real. There's a point where it becomes unreal, but you can believe some of that could have happened.
But 3 the Hard Way is basically a fun, like, crime action movie. You know?
It's a black power fantasy.
Yeah,
it's a black power fantasy, which is great.
You've got these 3 black guys who are in their areas are respected, and they no one can kind of touch them. Like, they're very. I mean, listen, it is a fantasy because that one guy, the Mr. Keys, beats up like at least like 4 cops' cars full of guys, right?
Yeah,
and nothing comes of it.
So let's establish the characters. So Jim Brown is playing Jimmy Late, who appears to be a fairly well-known, well-respected music producer. Somebody who, sits in the booth and kind of guides the bands and produces records with serious talent. Fred Williamson is playing Jagger Daniels, who is the smoothest motherfucker you'll ever see in your life.
Oh, he is.
He has to almost crawl out of a multi-layered cake of women every time he wakes up. And everybody loves him, and he dresses impeccably, and he's awesome, and he don't want to be involved in anything other than being with women, which, you know what? Living the dream. And then you have Jim Kelly playing Mr. Keys. Literally, the character's legal fucking name
is Mr. Keys.
Mr. Keys because his mother named him that to make sure that anybody using his name did it with respect. Now, that bit alone makes this movie a classic, besides stuff we're going to get into. But that alone is just amazing. And so Jimmy is essentially a mover and shaker where he knows people and he's got resources and he can get places. Jagger is somebody with connections and and he clearly knows, we're going to get to the women he knows. He also knows some people, but of a different type than Jimmy's hanging out with. And then Mr. Keys is just the martial arts fucking superstar because he only touches a gun at the end when he has to.
Yeah, otherwise, they yell at him too. They're like, shoot the fucking gun already.
Yeah, I mean, he only does it because there's no way he could have reached the guy in time to save them. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his fists are the lethal weapons, and we see it right away. Also, by the way, all of these men at multiple points are dressed to the fucking nines and look great. So, movie starts out. We're not really sure what's happening. We see that there's some kind of camp where a guy, there's guards. You could almost think it was like a halfway house or something. You're not really sure. They look military, but not really. And there's people being kept in there, and this guy breaks out, ends up in this storage room where you see piles of black bodies, just dead black people. Now, I think there are only males in that room, but we see females in the facility. So I don't know if they just didn't want to show that. Probably just didn't want to show it. But what you get the idea is something is either they're shooting them or whatever, but we don't see any, what's the word for it? You don't see any visible physical damage to them. They're just laying there dead. So this guy gets shot, but manages to grab a car from this young couple, the male who's played by Corbin Burnson in his first role, which you would never even notice, but that's his first role. I know,
but he is also in it for like 2 minutes.
He's in it for 2 seconds as a long hair.
Yeah.
So they grab his car, or he grabs their car. Well, that's what, at the time, that's what you call them, long hairs. So, as I used to be when I had hair, but or more hair. So he gets their car, manages to get to where Jimmy is, and then is put in the hospital, and then is assassinated. But tells Jim Kelly, or Jimmy, he tells Jimmy, hey, they're trying to wipe us all out. But he can't really explain more before he sort of passes out and is then killed. And then in the process of killing the friend, they also abduct Jimmy's woman, which is the big mistake. Because maybe if they hadn't done that, they might have gotten away with it. But nope, can't be grabbing the woman. So Jimmy then says, okay, I'm going to find out where she is. And he starts to assemble as much of a crew as he fucking needs, because these are 2 guys. It's a 3-man army. He basically goes and finds Jagger. They locate one of the guards. And this leads up to, I will let Lando explain what is doubtless his favorite scene in a film.
Oh, in a long time.
Probably quite a while that we've ever watched.
Oh my God, yeah.
Take it away.
Did you get the image I sent you?
Oh no, let me take a look. Hold on. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. This thing doesn't pop up to tell me. What is this? Hold on. Oh, this is a big image. Oh, I just see 3 The Hard Way girls, so I can predict what it is.
This is my background screen.
Oh, I'll bet it is too. Man,
so
that's a good background.
Yeah, so there's a sequence where there's 3 people on motorcycles. They're color coordinated. So each one has there's a red, a blue. I think the other one was a white. And they're riding
red,
color coded
the American flag colors.
Yeah, and they come in, and when they take their helmets off, it's 3 women. And Jagger has brought them in to basically question the guard that they have, right? And you have these 3. You have a black woman, an Asian woman, and a white brunette. And they basically send them in. And Mr. Keys is very confused by all this because he's like, what the hell are they going to do? But these 3 women proceed to go in, and the first thing is they take...
Hold on. One thing I want to say. There's a nice little couple of lines where he says, Mr. Keys says to Jagger, do you know these women socially? And he says, no, man, not socially. Go on.
And they go in and they take their jackets off and they're topless. And the guard is like, oh, I'm going to have fun with you 3. And they're like, yeah, no, you're not. And I give this movie credit. They never show you what these women do. All you know is that they come out several hours later. And they are still wearing the leather pants. They are covered in sweat from the waist up. And there is a shot of the 3 of them standing at the stairwell banister, which might be my favorite 30 seconds of a movie where they just look so incredible. At which point Jagger and Mr. Keys go in the room, and the guard is in his tighty whities in the corner of the room screaming in a fetal position, to which you are just left going, what the hell did they do to him? And they proceed to question him and get all the information out of him, right? He's just desperate to not have the women come back. And when the women come back in the room, he dies of fright. That is essentially what happens, right? He just dies of fright.
No. It's not essentially what happens. That is what happens.
Is what happens, yeah.
He dies. He has a heart attack out of fear.
Out of fear, yeah. So I love the way they play with it. These three beautiful, leather-clad, sweaty women have done something to this man in the 2 hours that they had him that broke him so completely that the idea of being left at any further with them could give him a heart attack. I love that. I absolutely love it. This movie is worth watching if only for that sequence. And it makes me sad that they're never used again, but their presence is so intense that I can't imagine they could have used them again without cheapening them. You know what I mean? And to some degree, they get paid in the fact that they get to do whatever they want. They never ask him for payment. They come in, and I think they basically come in and do it just for the love of torturing somebody. Right? I mean, it's
yes.
they're
because they have some lines about, he's like, all right, I'm going to let you feed as much as you want, but we need him alive or something. Yeah. So, yeah, this is basically, as far as we can tell by what this movie
vampires.
gives us.
I mean, for all we know.
Yeah, this is a mobile. I mean, I don't know if they're all involved with each other, but I'd like to think so. This is basically a mobile dominatrix interrogation unit that gets off on torturing men. Now, I don't know that's all that it is, but that's all I need it to be. So, it's great.
And it's in the middle of the movie. That sequence,
with
shot,
no setup, with no setup to this is what's happening.
That shot I sent you, right, is at 44 minutes and 46 seconds. Right? So, it's practically the midpoint of the movie. These 3 show up, and they are just fantastic. And then they leave, and that's it. You never get them again.
Nope. Yeah. But it's a scene that feels like something. Okay. If I were to find out tomorrow, if I got a message and somebody said, that's not the original cut of the movie, Quentin Tarantino spliced that in without telling anybody, somehow, I would believe it.
I wouldn't believe it because there's no feet.
Well, Okay, no, all right, then I don't know. Russ Meyer. Well, no, Russ Meyer. They're not big enough. Who would it be? Eli. Somebody. If somebody had somehow digitally created that scene, I wouldn't disbelieve that because there's nothing else like it in the whole movie. Now, this is not a complaint. There's no complaint here, but it's so isolated where you're just like, wait a second. How does Jagger know them? When has he used them before? What are they doing in their free time? You know, there's lots of stuff which I don't need the answers to, but they stick out as the most memorable single thing in the movie. And the fact that there is a black woman, an Asian woman, and a white woman.
Yeah.
They cover all the bases.
There's no blonde. There's no blonde. That's what I love. There's just a brunette.
No blonde. Different body types, different heights, very different hairstyles. I mean, everything. It's all different.
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Except in their common love of torturing racist, overweight assholes.
It's about one of the sexiest things I've seen in a movie in the last decade, at least. I don't want to say my whole life because I've seen some pretty sexy things in movies. But I mean, those three, like, it's like a. Yeah, that shot of them on the stairwell, like I said, that's one of my wallpapers now.
You are welcome, sir. You are quite welcome. Remember the things I do for you.
It's pretty amazing. So,
yeah.
And honestly, that was it. That was it for the week for me. I had that shot, and I was like, I don't think it gets better than this. And honestly, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Like,
no, as far as a single thing out of a movie. It is the best by far. Well, there's two really great moments. The second one's in Black Dynamite.
The whole movie.
That's the best one.
Three the Hard Way. Overall, I'll let Joe explain the rest of it. But Three the Hard Way is a great movie. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. But within that great movie, that sequence
far and away,
is legendary.
That will stick. That stays with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a thing that I almost hate that we talk about it because this is one of those rare occasions where I would want to spring this on somebody without them knowing what's coming to gauge the reaction. You know what I mean? This is as close as I get to Hitchcock telling people not to talk about the ending of Psycho. Where it's like, don't tell people because, you don't want them to know that it's actually Anthony Perkins is playing the mom. Like that was the big shock was, the mother is dead. Holy shit, it's him the whole time. It's not the mother. This is that level of I feel somewhat bad that somebody who will watch this movie would know that, because if you don't, when you see those motorcycles, you're just not sure, because I have to go back and look at it. I'm pretty sure that it's men riding the motorcycles because I'm pretty sure I can see the mustache on one of them. So I don't think it's actually women. I could be wrong. It may have been a reflection thing, but it doesn't matter. But when you see those motorcycles, there's no prep for this. He doesn't say, Jagger doesn't turn and say, I'm going to bring in three women and wait till you see what they do.
For a minute, I thought it was them.
Well, and that's, I think, I would guess that most people think it's them. Because at that point, the force is together.
Yeah, they get there, but then they get there and they take their helmets off, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. What
are we going to do here?
But like I said, if you're watching this movie, only knowing the basic summary of it, there's nothing indicating that. And there's nothing that the characters talk about to indicate this is going to happen. They just show up. It's just these three women that Jagger happens to know. Not socially.
Not socially. And honestly,
he's very clear.
Mr. Keys at one point talks about going up there to see what's going on. And Jagger says, don't go up there. He goes, if they're feeling frisky, they might pull you in, man, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, he talks about them like they're supernatural fucking creatures.
Well, if Mr. Keys... to make your point... Yeah. Mr. Keys, who took out like 18 cops without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, Jagger is worried that if Mr. Keys goes up there, they're going to have their way with him too. Yeah.
Yes.
And he implies that he will not be able to stop them.
I mean, literally, the only thing that he needed to say that he didn't say was, she'll swallow your soul. Like, that's all it was missing.
You know what? Listen, you never see them outside, because I'm pretty sure they don't take their helmets off until they get into...
No.
So you know what? Mm-hmm. These are vampires from Blade.
Yeah.
There's nothing... There's nothing to contradict that.
note to Marvel. Here's something you should pick up to use in Blade. Have Blade know
because think about it.
3 Daywalker women.
In Blade, right, the vampires are wearing all the motorcycle gear during the day, right?
Yes.
So these
That's when
girls,
they burn Udo Kier.
Yeah, these girls never take off their helmets till they get upstairs, till they're indoors. There's no skin, they're in like head to toe leather and helmets, right? So for all I know, these are 70s vampires.
Yeah.
And that's why Jagger is so afraid of them. These women are too much for him.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean,
it's so great that it has derailed us in our review of the movie.
To the point where I was thinking about who would I ideally cast for those 3 women, right? Out of any time, any place, who was I going to cast that would be close to what the movie shows us? And I came up with Pam Grier in her prime, Lucy Liu, and fucking Mila Jovovich. There's the 3 women, exactly like that in that scene.
I mean,
that's who I'd use.
I mean,
that's just me.
Listen, it's adorable. I'm not saying it's bad, but I pretty much think this is as perfect as it gets.
I don't disagree. I'm saying if I was able to
and their shit.
Replace, yeah. That's all. But anyway, as is, no complaints.
We have to get to the rest of the movie.
I don't know. I think we could stay on this for like another 20 minutes. So
I could, but it's going to get pervy.
I know. Well, no, it really. Listen, you know what the honest part is? It doesn't have to. It's fine the way it is.
Listen, this shot is so good that Joe, who doesn't like sweat, still thinks it's awesome.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like they are
generally
wet.
Sweat is not. Yeah.
They are sweaty wet from the waist up, and then black clad leather from the waist down.
It's tempered by their danger because they at no point show they're doing those guys a favor because it's fun for them. It's very evident that this is only them doing it because they're getting something out of it.
For shits and fucking giggles, yeah.
The fact that Jagger is afraid of them.
Yeah, and says to Mr. Keyes,
has respect for what they're doing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he warns Mr. Keyes. He's like, dude, if you go up there, like... Yeah. I'm not, it might not be good for you.
Yeah. Mr. Keyes, who will later take on a cadre of armed with machine gun men and have no problems at all. So, after the interrogation scene, they now have a location. The vampires have provided a location of the woman and the base. And they now are taking this threat seriously. So they find out that the water supplies of 3 major cities, which is Chicago, Detroit, New York, right? Is it no, L.A. It's L.A. Yeah, L.A., Detroit, Chicago are the 3 locations, and so that's the 3 the hard ways. Jim Kelly's like, all right, we got to go. Each of us takes a location. Now, you and I both agree that it would have been great if the 3 of them had done each location, but since there's a ticking clock, it makes sense that they have to split up. And what this does is it allows each of them to take these people on in their own way, which I do like. So they each get to do it the way they want to do it. So really with Jim Kelly Jim Kelly and Jagger are basically the same, in which it's mostly firearms with Jagger does it all on his own. Jim Kelly has a helper. Yeah, his buddy who unfortunately gets killed, which is a shame because the guy was awesome. Or at least he was in the scenes we saw him. And Mr. Keyes goes to his dojo and gets his best trainer.
He's got thick Bruce Lee.
Yeah, he's got thick Bruce Lee. Not thick as in overweight, thick as in just stacked. And the 2 of them go into a water treatment facility and wreck ass without ever touching a gun, which is by far the best action scene. It's just the 2 of them taking these idiots apart. Who all have machine guns.
To some degree, they've got plot armor because somebody would have shot them. So I'll accept that. But still, having them do it is quite funny.
Look, at the point at which the mastermind of this thing is a diminutive, weird Lindsey Graham archetype Nazi.
Yeah, is he ever?
I mean, this guy is basically Scooby-Doo level cartoonish in his evilness.
Yeah.
And so once that's established, you kind of let some of the other stuff go because, like, all right, this isn't real. This is again, male black power fantasy. in the best way possible. So I don't care if realistically they would have been shot or not. We're talking about somebody going up against Foghorn Leghorn in human form without the accent. I mean, buffoon. So they managed to stop all the water pollution from happening, and then they go after. Then they reform into a unit, Voltron style, and they go into the base to get the woman out, to get Jimmy's woman. And they go in and they just again take this place apart. They just wreck everybody. They blow it up. They make sure every one of them is killed, and then they go back to make sure anybody who might be left alive is killed, which is the very end of the movie, is them throwing grenades into the what remains of the house. Yeah. But there's car chases. They blow up the little Foghorn Leghorn guy.
The bad guys are basically racist Nazis, so you feel good having them get, yeah.
They are literally all but Nazis. They just don't have swastikas. They have like SS emblems, but they're wearing uniforms with red berets of all things.
Yeah.
And, they're all assembled to, basically the stuff they were putting in the water would only kill black people. So the idea is just to get rid of literally all black people. They've come up with a chemical that if you put it into the drinking water, only black people die. So literally the most racist possible thing possible. Because you have to assume after that they would go after the other people with.
Well, that's what I said. We'll go after the black people. Then we'll go after the Asians and the Hispanics. Oh, yeah. And,
No, that's of course. It's always going to be that there's going to be the next victim, the next target that you're being victimized by.
And just to bring it to the foreground a little bit, they're going after the Hispanics today, but they'll figure out a way to try to send everyone else, anyone who's not the color they want them to be. They'll send them away as well. I mean, that's that famous line from Germany when they came for the gypsies, I said nothing. When they came for the Jews, I said nothing. And then eventually you get to the point where they say, when they came for me, there was no one to say anything. Like it's
nobody was left to say anything about it. Yeah. Yeah. No, it is a thing where, like a lot of history, there is not a full appreciation of the full breadth of what's going on. So a lot of people equate Nazism or the Reich with just being out to kill Jews.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. They were out to do that, but guess what?
They killed a lot of them.
They were after other people, too. It wasn't just Jews. That was just their biggest, easiest target because of demographics, and that was the main thing. But if you think they weren't rounding up anybody that they disagreed with, you're living in a dream world.
No, apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently the Nazis guillotined. Didn't they say like they guillotined almost more people than the French Revolution? Did you know that?
I had read that somewhere. I didn't know if it was true or not because I happened to see it. And I wasn't sure if it was a true thing or not.
So they may have killed something like 20,000. I was not. It's 20 more than that. Hold on. Let me say guillotine. It was 15 million. I can't remember now. I'm all screwed up on the numbers. Let's see. Nazi guillotine. Here we go.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. So between 1933 and 1945, roughly 16,500 prisoners that we know of, including political dissidents, resistance members, and criminals, were executed by this machine, with the big surge between 44 and 45. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing that I did not know of, and I found this out in a terrible way, really by accident. Which this is one of those rare cases where I'm like, okay, the universe kind of engineered things to make this happen, whatever it is, because it's just too weird. But I had a painting I was working on, and the central object of it was a triangle that was supposed to be over a city. It was going to be shooting lightning and all this shit. Like, there's some images of it that I took, and the intent was to paint the triangle red, and then have it surrounded by like clouds and lightning and all this stuff. But what the version of red paint that I got, in fact, came out as pink. So it was an inverted pink triangle. And I then at one point looked at it and I went, oh shit. Because what some people may not know, and I checked to make sure because I'd remembered this and I was correct, is inverted pink triangles were used by the Nazis to identify gay men for execution.
Oh wow!
And I was genuinely concerned. And the easiest way that that most people have probably seen it and may not be aware. If you watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, at one point Frankenfurter's wearing a green lab coat with a triangle that's pointing upwards, and that is a deliberate inversion of the Nazi triangle. And that's what reminded me, because we watched it and I went, "Oh fuck, the pink triangle," and I thought maybe I'd get around. And luckily, I destroyed the painting through ineptitude so badly that I took a knife to it and destroyed it, because I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to fuck with this. I don't even want anybody to accidentally infer anything. And I literally cut. It's only the second painting I've completely just cut up. And now I did a new version that's actually red, but I also didn't do a triangle. I did it more as like a geometric shape, but it's a triangle with like a point on the top. So it looks more like the Dark Crystal now, just to make sure, even though now it's red. I don't even want to get close to it. Yeah. But just to be clear, in case anybody thinks still that it was just Jews, here are the people Nazis targeted. Black people in Germany. Just black people in Germany, men and women. Civilians who disobeyed, resisted, or were seen to be accomplices. So that's anybody. Gay men, bisexual men, and other men accused of homosexuality. Interesting. They were really scared of gay men. Think about that for a minute. Jehovah's Witnesses. Anyone with a disability.
Yeah.
Polish people. Political opponents, which of course you would assume that with the Reich. Anybody who said, hey, you're doing something bad, yet dead. Roma or anyone else derogatorily labeled as gypsies.
Yeah.
Social outsiders who were labeled as professional criminals, which could be applied to almost anyone. And Soviets, any Soviet prisoners of war. And you will see there's a whole bunch of symbols they use. So don't think for a second that the Reich was only worried, or that what do you call it, that white supremacists are going to stop with black people. If that's somehow the delusion you're laboring under, you are very wrong. And even if it was, it's still wrong. But don't think for a second that they won't find a way to take anybody that they think is different from them and fucking erase them. So, that being said, this is a joyous movie to watch. Because with that magical plot armor, you know that these guys are going to get shit done. And they do. Yeah, and so it is, unlike Black Caesar, that's why I want to start with that and move slowly upwards in terms of yay tone. This is a great movie where there's really only that one guy dies, which is unfortunate. But I guess they had to do it to make you think, it's possible somebody else had to die. Yeah, I mean, eventually it would be a little too far if nobody ever died. So they killed one guy, which is a shame because he was a nice guy, or at least as far as the movie showed us. But other than that, yes, they come out on top. All the racists are dead, at least of this group. Of course, there's many more in the world, but they got these people.
Oh, there could have
at the time the biggest threat.
Could have been sequels to this movie, and I would have watched it.
Well, they wanted to make them, and unfortunately, were never really able to. So, but as a one and done, it's a blast, and I mean, even though Jim Brown not the best actor, physical presence, all there. Fred Williamson, awesome. Jim Kelly, awesome. Again, the fashion, I said this during the commentary, there's a lot of ugly 70s fashion, and then there's a lot of fucking bitchin' 70s fashion.
The collars in this movie.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So this one is just an easy recommendation top to bottom for many reasons. But if nothing else, you'll come out at the end going, yep, evil's been destroyed and the good guys won. I mean, that's where it is. So, and then before I say anything else,
200 hours later,
we come to a genuinely great movie, which I'll lead off with. Dynamite! Dynamite! Yes, 2009's Black Dynamite.
Now,
holy shit, do I love this movie.
We have seen this before, many, many, many years ago. I had forgotten a lot of it. But you know what I never forget of this movie? The fucking scene where he goes, I threw that shit before I even came in the room.
Yeah, which is basically about a minute after my favorite line, which is Fiendish Dr. Wu, you done fucked up now, which is one of my best line deliveries anybody's ever made.
Oh, man. Now, this movie is a comedic, joyous satire of the... I mean, honestly, there's a lot of shit that they're directly referencing through the hard way. But it is about, you know... another movie like this is almost like, I'm going to get you, sucker. which is another kind of satire of blaxploitation movies.
Yeah.
But the main character in this, who's Michael J. White, right? Michael J. White.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of martial arts in this because Michael J. White does martial arts. So you get, it's like you took all the characters from 3 the Hard Way and you shoved them together into one unstable package, and you get Black Dynamite.
Well, I'm going to say this too.
Yeah.
If this movie changed, if it toned down just a few things comedically, it could actually be mistaken for a movie of the era.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple things that give it away, but not many.
I showed my wife a few clips of this, and she actually asked me, she's like, what year is this? Is this like in the 80s and late 70s?
Yeah.
Like, no. This is 2009. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what I mean, is this, when if somebody asks me, what is a good movie that is replicating an older movie style, I don't know that there's a better one than this in totality. In terms of, if you're familiar with these movies, and we, as you said, just came off watching a movie made of the time, where this feels like it was made at the same time, except for a couple of things that give it away. Just a few where they go a little into the comedy enough that it gives it away.
I mean, listen,
but if you were to subtract a few things, you wouldn't know.
Where he threatens the prostitute with going back to where they have hot
coat hangers.
Hot coat hangers. If I had been drinking something, I would have spit it out at that moment. That line, like basically, one of the prostitutes interrupts his speechifying, and he goes on a rant, basically telling her what he's going to do to her if she doesn't shut up. And it ends it with basically, I'm going to send you back to that place where they have hot coat hangers, and you're like, holy shit! Did he just say what I think he fucking said to that prostitute? I was like, oh my god! And that's the thing is, Black Dynamite is all the negativity of this kind of era of movie making, kind of like sucked out, and it just, so it's like, it's all the Black Caesar has been removed from the genre, and they've just left you kind of the purest comedic over the top 3 the Hard Way. I mean, it's literally a movie about evil white, an evil white government that wants to make black men's penises small.
Yes, I mean, and the main villain is the President of the United States, Richard Nixon. Not exaggerating. That's not a joke.
Who has a full-on martial arts sequence that is actually quite well done.
Oh, it's excellent. It's excellent. Not only is it excellent, but at one point, Black Dynamite, just to jump to the end, smacks Nixon's wife and then goes back and says, you know what? I crossed the line by hitting you. I should not have hit you that hard. Yeah. No, it's nuts. But yes, the basic, I mean, the plot is very simple to explain. Black Dynamite, through the murder of his brother, who is unable to fit in on the street, which is its own funny opening scene, which is great. He's not able to code switch correctly in that scenario, or he code switches too hard, I guess you would say, in the opening, is then clued into the fact that there is a secret government conspiracy to give all black men micro penises through tainted malt liquor. That's the story. So it is the same exact plot as 3 the Hard Way, except instead of being literally destroying black men, it is instead taking what I guess you would have to say is a white fear of black men and literally neutering them to have black men or white men feel superior. That's the movie. What makes it work, there's a few things. One, it is filmed impeccably in the style of the older films.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
It looks amazing. And not only in terms of the film quality is just degraded enough. They don't overdo it the way they do in, say, Death Proof or Planet Terror. That's where I kind of use a comparison point, where they're putting those digital scratches on so heavily that it becomes distracting. Instead, here, it's just soft and it's grainy, and the music is done well. It's got a great soundtrack. Michael J. White is just...
He can go from hilarious to smooth to fucking scary so quick.
Yeah, and again, I said this in our commentary. I have to say it again. There's got to be a reason why he's not a goddamn household name. Because, Spawn, yeah, that's not going to do it for you. We get it. But this movie by itself should have made him a name. Because...
Well, listen.
He helped write it, and he's perfect in the role.
It's not like he hasn't had a career. I mean, the guy's been working. But no.
I would have expected him to be... I used Michael B. Jordan as an example. He should be on that same recognition level. So unless it's that he doesn't want it, which could be. Maybe he likes doing smaller, independent stuff where he's got more control. If that's good. If it's by his intent... That's fine.
Yeah, listen.
If it's another reason, it's a shame.
Maybe he just likes to, maybe he just had such a bad time with Spawn. I mean, I honestly think that the movie Spawn is the reason. I think that movie just either left a bad taste in his mouth or something. But
it could be that he doesn't want to work in the studio system because it grinds people up. And hey, that's fine then. Like I said, if it's by his decisions, I'm not saying a word. If it's because of something else, I think it's a shame. If he wanted to be bigger and wasn't able to, I think that's a shame. If he chose to do what he's doing, good.
And on top of the fact that he is a good actor, right? He's a great martial artist. He is also fucking fit as fuck in this movie. I mean, the guy looks fantastic and can act and is funny. Like, I mean, yes, you're right. He is a total package. It's amazing that he didn't. For whatever reason.
He is trained in 9 different styles. I'm not going to pronounce these right, but Shotokan, Goju Ryu,
he threw that
Taekwondo,
shit before he even came in the room.
Kabuto, Tang Sudo, Wushu, Jujutsu, Kyushu. Oh God, I can't pronounce that. Boxing and kickboxing.
Oh, I love it when you speak the mother tongue.
Yeah, I'm so fucking fluent. Oh my God, I forgot. Okay, I have to get. I was sent a song.
Yeah.
That I forgot to rip for this show. I will play it on the next show. My apologies. I meant to have it ready. I did not because I forgot, but I will have it for the next show.
You done fucked
somebody
up.
Sent something. Yeah, I did. I done fucked up, but it's just for you. And I listened to it and I understand why, but we'll play it on the next one.
What is it?
Don't worry. Huh?
Now you got me fucking
No. I'll save it because I want everybody to hear it like you.
Can I just? It's not on a website or something. Can I just go to?
Oh, it is, but I don't want you to hear it before I play it.
You son of a bitch, leaving me hanging like this.
Sequel bait.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Dynamite. Yeah, I'm amazed you haven't used that more. Honestly, like if I had that on my fucking keyboard, like I'd be dropping them left and right.
Well, remember, I have to have the window open, so I'm looking stuff up and everything else. So.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the cue that I can just go dynamite, and then it just goes dynamite. It's fucking awesome. Like I'm pretty sure.
And you know what?
I might
in
make
the
that
movie,
yours. Yeah.
Yeah. In the movie, whenever he like comes through a door or like kicks in a door, that music cue kicks in every single time. And then the music is describing what he's doing.
Yes. Interestingly, I think that's the only point, this one part where I got it clean, where he's not talking over it or there's music, is where it's clean like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's usually talking into it or there's music. But when the cop shows up at his house and he comes out with his shirt off and the giant Magnum, that's the only place where that's where I pulled this from, where it's clean, because he says freeze turkeys, and then there's just enough of a beat where everything stops, and then it pops in. And then nothing else happens where I could get a clean break of it. But I might make that your ringtone when you call me now. Just have that loop. You don't really call me all that often, but on the off chance, so I can just whip around and be like, what?
No, it's amazing how little I have to call you.
It's true.
But you know what? Then again, I practically talk to you every night, so.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
But yes, just not on the phone.
True.
Dynamite. So, I love this movie.
It's usually in something. Oh,
I
it's
think
fantastic.
this movie's fantastic.
It starts off, and I looked it up, in less than 5 minutes, He kicks an old white lady through a door.
He kicks the door, and the door basically sends her across the room. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's on the other side. She closes the door in his face, which is a mistake. And
you don't do that to Black.
At that point, he kicks through the door. No. It's. We genuinely were laughing. I don't laugh at a lot of movies, generally, but this one is so good. It's just there's such funny shit in it. I mean,
no, this is an exceptionally well done comedy.
The only thing that stops me from recommending this to anybody, anywhere, anytime is that they're swearing and nudity, so kids can't watch it until they're of a certain age.
Well, yes, you are correct.
Outside of that, it's a universal recommendation.
But yeah, it is a great movie, and there is.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen,
it's awesome.
I'm surprised there isn't even more nudity. Really, they could have gone far over the line, but they chose not to.
Yeah, I agree. It is interesting that there is not more of it, but it's
dynamite.
And also the fact that sound is in there and that they play it, like you said, every time. It's
the soundtrack. The soundtrack is great. And
the soundtrack's great.
And it's got a lot of great people randomly popping up throughout the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
No, it's the only trick it really missed that I could realistically say, I'm kind of surprised, is that they didn't have more people from those films pop up anywhere. That are still alive. That they did not have some more people who were in the movies show up.
Oh, I see.
That's the only thing I would say I wish that they had just had in small one-off roles.
Yeah.
Like the guy, and I don't, unless the guy who was like running Roscoe's is somebody and I just don't recognize him. But okay, I don't remember when Fred Williamson died, but I'm pretty sure he was alive when this came out. Like, okay, he should have been Roscoe. Just a small thing where you're like, okay, yeah, there's Fred Williamson.
No, I mean, maybe they didn't want to because they felt it was a satire.
Maybe. And that's fine. I mean, I'm not really complaining. It just would have been fun to see some of those people show up, even like in the pimp scene.
Well, they got
just one of the background pimps just in the back.
Arsenio Hall for that.
Oh, they got Arsenio. That's fine, but again, that's where you pack in all the people, and you can have it where they're just kind of there. But
yeah,
I don't know if you saw the small note that at one point we do actually see a penis. And in fact, the penis is a flesh-painted baby pacifier.
Oh, is it? Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, that when they actually show that guy has had his penis micro-penised. Yes.
Yeah. 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 So
listen, there's plenty of this movie. There's plenty in this movie for people to be offended about.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I did think it was that it was a very funny film.
And the guy who played Nixon, I looked it up because I was curious if he was a martial artist.
Yeah.
He is not, but he practiced 6 hours a day to make sure he was ready for that scene.
Oh, he's good. I mean...
Yep. I thought he might have been a martial artist. I looked it up. There's no evidence he is.
No, they literally have a nunchuck fight in the White House.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. No, it's great.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good flick. And honestly, it would have been great if we watched Black Dynamite last. So it was like a...
Yes.
But
and if I'd known the content, I would have structured this in the way we reviewed it.
Yeah.
If I'd known what Black Caesar was, I would have opened with that and then moved to 3 the Hard Way because I'd seen that one. And of course, Black Dynamite, we've both seen it. So that would have been... If you're going to watch these 3 movies, that would be my recommendation on how to do it. I think, like you, Black Caesar is a good movie. It's a well-made movie, but you want
movie. It's just dark as
you
fuck.
don't want that to be the end of your 3-film series. I would say. I think you'd be better off ending whatever order. I mean, you could end it with 3 the Hard Way too, and I still think you're in a good place. But Black Dynamite is kind of where you see
3 the Hard Way is an amazing film.
No, it is. But
yeah,
then when you watch Black Dynamite, you see all the mix-ins of the stuff that came before.
I'm going to say this. I think that this was a good week. I mean, I know that Black Caesar was a hard movie, but all 3 of these movies were very, very good. And I would...
Oh, yeah.
It's not that I would almost suggest them to anyone, but I would give them the caveats of understanding that these are what these movies largely are, which is that Black Caesar is a heavy drama. Three the Hard Way is like a fun action movie, fantasy really, and then Black Dynamite is a satirical comedy of the genre.
Yeah,
with lots of really great martial arts, like genuinely good martial arts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So and really, I'm looking at the list because I know what the list of all the movies are. Lando does not. And looking at the rest of the movies, I have seen 3 of the remaining 9. One of them, two of them, I don't know if they'll be Black Caesar type movies. I really just don't know because I don't know enough. I don't know a lot about them. One of them, which you already know what it is because your suggestion was this movie. I'm pretty sure I know what that movie's going to be. And another one, Dr. Black, Mr. Hyde.
Oh, yeah. We found that when we looked at that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not expecting that to be Black Caesar level storytelling. But I like the main guy in it.
Hey, you know what? I'll be surprised as fuck if they do, though. I mean, what the hell?
I'm not saying it's not a good movie. I don't think it's going... I don't know that we're going to get... I hope that we don't get another heavy movie like Black Caesar. There's only one movie that there is potentially that risk. And risk is... I use that word just to mean... So I'm probably going to move that movie to the front of the list for that week, just in case. And that way, I'm going to definitely do some rearranging based on the ones that I've never seen. Because there's only that one that I just don't know. But I don't want to read about it because I want to go into it and just get hit with it. Because it's surrounded by movies I do know. And you'll know one of them. Of the remaining movies, you will have seen one, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be an interesting month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should be fun. All right, like I said, really, no bad recommendations. Just be aware, and this is what I said.
These movies are all good.
No, I said, I posted this about Black Caesar somewhere, and I said, look, it's a well-done movie, but it's heavy. So just be aware that it's a great showcase for Fred Williamson. It's a well-made movie, but you got to be in the right headspace. Especially, you and I are not black. So I would imagine...
No, I mean, I'm Hispanic. That's about as close as I get.
Yeah, but what I mean is, I had said to somebody that I know, I said, I would be fascinated on what your perspective of this movie would be, but I'm not telling you to watch it unless you're ready for what it is. I said, it is a heavy flick. But I'm sure, like a movie that focused on women's rights or gay rights, I can see certain things, and there's things I'm not going to see. So... when we say they're well made, I'm saying to anybody who may be personally more affected by this stuff, just be aware of the 3. Yeah. Black Caesar is the one that you should be aware that you're going into a movie that might really hit you. 3 the Hard Way, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's slurs being used, so you're going to hear offensive terms, but the main characters are going to win. They're going to win. I mean, 15 seconds in, they're going to win. So it's fine. And Black Dynamite is just a fucking riot. It's just a riot. So that would be the only thing I would just tell anybody is be aware. And with Black Caesar also, there's just such an ugly level of outright blatant hate in it with the way that the characters speak. Yeah. Which I'm sure it's authentic. Don't get me wrong. I have heard people talk like this. But a modern audience might not be prepared for just how out there, and out there meaning right on in display in front of you, the hate is. And the terms are varied and fucking razor-laced. So, again, well made, but you better know what you're getting into. If that's at all tricky territory for you, stick with the other 2. Where, I mean, we've already talked about the 3 women and 3 the Hard Way. If nothing else, you're going to get that out of it. And Black Dynamite is fucking solid gold, beginning to end. Period. But that's the only thing I'd say about Black Caesar is just understand that is a serious movie that may hit certain people harder than it hit us. So, while I would still say it's well made, and if you're okay with that, watch it. Don't just go into it expecting it to be a lightweight thing, because it is not.
Dynamite. Yeah, it's not dynamite.
It is not. But all 3 movies absolutely well made, all enjoyable to some degree with Black Caesar. It's enjoyable in the appreciation of what it is, as opposed to enjoying watching it. But it is very well made. I think it's a great showcase for Fred Williamson, who, again, I've gotten more of an appreciation of him in recent years than I ever did when I was younger, and really didn't know. I mean, I certainly would never have watched Black Caesar when I was younger. And so now I look at him like, holy shit, yeah, this is why this guy's name is a name that people know. Because I knew who he was before I ever actually saw him. I'd heard the name. And now I'm getting a better, like I said, I'm getting a more respect for his acting ability because, I mean, between this and Three the Hard Way, he's playing two radically different characters. So, on that note, that's it. That's our movies for this week. And there will be, we will continue with our celebration of Black History Month. The next three will be a little more varied, I'll say that, than these three. Not all necessarily grounded as harshly in reality. And one is a pretty safe bet, and the other two we'll see. So hopefully we won't have any that we run into that we absolutely hate. I don't think so. We might have some that are...
Even the hate... There's different kinds of movies you hate.
I mean, not enjoy watching. When I say hate, we don't have a fun time.
I don't mind us watching a movie and honestly hating it for, like, valid reasons. I just don't want it to be a movie that is, like, lazy and shitty. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying. Boring. I don't want it to be boring and dumb.
Yeah.
If there's problems with it, we talk about the problems, like the time jumps in Black Caesar, which is, I agree, is the quirkiest honestly, element.
I mean, to some degree, the reason that the time jumps bother me is because I want to know what he's up to. Like, it's not me wanting less movie; it's me wanting like more movie to some degree. They're going, hey, you know, yeah. So,
I agree. So on. Let me do this check just for everybody because I think all these movies are free to watch. Let's verify that. So Black Caesar is on all the free services. 3 the Hard Way, I think, is also, I'm pretty sure. Let's take a look.
I would absolutely pay $20 to see 3 the Hard Way.
3 the Hard Way is $4.
Oh my God.
$4.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd pay $4 just for those 3 ladies.
Yeah. No, that's definitely... I'm just checking because, again,
you get 3 beautiful ladies and 3 marvelous black actors in this.
So if you have... Let me just see. I think it is free on Apple TV. Otherwise, yeah, it's $4. I mean, yeah, it's you said $20. I agree. And then Black Dynamite. Let's see. Hold on. Is on everything. It's on Pluto. It's on. It's $4 on Amazon. So if you don't want ads, it's absolutely worth $4 to watch on Amazon, but you can watch it for free. And so, yeah, you have options there too. So all these movies are either available very inexpensively or for nothing with ads. But all of them, I would say, well, I think they're all worth at least $5. 3 the Hard Way, I agree with you. That's definitely, I'd pay more for that. And Black Dynamite, I would happily pay more for that. Fortunately, I own Black Dynamite, so whatever, because I bought it. I already did have it. I just hadn't watched it in a while. So I will probably get 3 the Hard Way, because, yeah. And on that note, everybody, whatever you choose to do with your weekend, have a good time with it. And, we'll talk to you again next week. Visit OzoneNightmare.com to subscribe to new episodes, browse through our back catalog, or to find links to support the show. Follow @OzoneNightmare on Twitter for the latest episode postings and other show information. If 280 characters just isn't enough, you can always email us, theozonenightmare@gmail.com. The opening theme for the show is provided by Heartbeat Hero. The closing theme is provided by Ogre. Please visit and support these artists using the links in the show notes for each episode.